I look back at my life, and all I see are the messes I made. I can do one thing right with the time I got left. I can't do it alone.
You'll no longer be beloved celebrities.
In the fewest of ways.
You will be wrathful gods.
That doesn't sound good, Ashley.
Well, you know it, Ashley.
Sorry, Ashley.
This is insane and desperate, even for you.
Well, insanely desperate's where we are, don't you think, love?
Let's go.
That's a spirit champ.
Who wants a creamy, delicious milkshake?
You're all welcome.
Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Maybe I'll love you one day, maybe we'll someday grow. Till then, just sit your drunk on that fuck runway. I can't be your Superman, can't be your Superman, can't be your Superman, can't be your Superman. I can't be your Superman, can't be your Superman, can't be your Superman, your Superman, your Superman.
Soldier Boy, tough. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called Soldier Boy. You just gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy? That Superman now. Now why me crank that Soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy? That Superman now. Now why me crank that Soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me in it? Why me rock? Superman now. Yeah, why me crank that Robocop? Super friend, now why me jocking on them, hate them, man. When I do that Soldier Boy, I lean to the left and crank that thing now. I'm jocking on you, jocking on you. And if we get the fight, then I'm cocking on you. Catch me at your local party, yes, I crank it every day. Haters get mad, cause I got me some baby names. Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman now? Now why me crank that Soldier?
Hello. Hey, y'all. I am so excited to just talk to y'all. I don't even care what we're talking about. I'm just excited to talk to y'all. How is everybody doing? Of course, this is not a regular schmegular live. We are about to get into the boys finale and then some, because I was not here last week to recap episode 7. But before, all else, I just want to say thank you for the sky, the ground, the lights, the air conditioning, everything. Like, I am really appreciative of the fact that I can just hop on here and go live. And, I just pressed the button and it came on. We were not in the dark. Like, thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you so much for supporting me throughout this week, going into this second week. I can say that everything is not perfect here on my end, but it's better. It's better. The lights are on and I am here. Of course, I am not only streaming on my platform, but my guests backstage as well. And I cannot wait to just get into this episode with them and just talk to them in general, because I missed you guys and I miss these 2 women as well. Breaking out my girl first in the back, Kay with the books, because she is reading them. Soldier Boy was really up in his he was here. Kay, how did you feel about the finale of The Boys season 4?
That's what I needed to see. Give me the carnage. It's what I needed to see. And then they teased us because they gave it to us at the end. But I'm gonna need more of that, the finale, to be all season 5. That's I'm like, here they go. This is what we need right there.
Okay, when I tell you, like, I was not prepared. Like, I was excited and mad for this finale all at the same time, because what y'all been doing, huh? I know I can speak for myself for at least them first 5, really 6 episodes. What were you guys doing, and why did it take us so long to get here? This is what we could have been here, but let's not be picky. Let's not be picky. I loved it, but I was just like, if we could have started and been here like episode 3 of this season, we really could have had a good season, but you know, it is
This was
what
the
it is.
boys that we wanted right there. That's the boys that we fell in love with, and they teased us at the end.
Child, it was giving us the girls in there. Where are the boys? Last but not least, my girl is in the back with her super duper sweet perspective, and I know that she has one for this finale. Ashley, what did you think about the finale of The Boys?
Too little, too late. Y'all played at my top. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about The Boys season 4. We could have cut out 50% of all that other foolishness. They could have given this to us episode 4 and made some stuff shake. But I mean, you know, better late than never.
Right, late as hell. Like late. Like before we jump into I guess episode 7 and episode 8, I want to know y'all favorite. What was your one like favorite, like shocking thing about this season finale? I know for me, when you know Homelander did that little walk in the end and he went up to the, I say, oh my god, it's Soulja Boy. I was like, oh, it's Soulja Boy. I must have yelled so loud. Like, it's Soulja Boy. I was so excited for that, and that shocked me because I did not expect that. What about you, Kay? What surprised you in the season finale?
Kamiko.
Oh, right. I was like, girl, you picked the wrong time, but you know, it's traumatic. I can understand why you screaming, Kamiko. Not my man. Not when I just got him after they played her face.
That's all it took was some love for you to start talking. That's all we needed this whole time was for you to have a man.
Frenchie gave us some of that Frenchie, and she's been talking ever since. Ashley, what surprised you in this season finale the most?
You know what? There's a couple things, but I want to say the thing that got me that I wanted to see more of was Ashley after she took the V. I was like, finally, Ashley. Like, I mean, we could do what we got to do to fight for our lives, but I wanted to see what kind of monster she turned into because I think she took the wrong one.
I think she took the one that Victoria's daughter took.
Exactly.
She took that one that Huey Daddy took. Like, you know, it came from the same, you know, passage. And from Huey, we got to get into it. But from Huey's dad, it's like whatever you turn into is taking on the physical characteristics of you as a person. And from day one of this season, she's just been kind of low-key turning into this dominatrix monster of a woman. And it's just all like everybody's like slowly turning into a monster. I really think Ashley is going to be some slimy, grimy, disgusting creature. And I absolutely cannot wait. I cannot wait.
That head was bubbling. I was like, oh no.
When that wig fell off. Say, girl, we just fell off like that. It was never there. It was never there, Ashley. Girl, put some wig glue on it. It just fell off. She didn't have on no grip or nothing.
I'm glad when she got to running though at that end. All she heard when the deep said Ashley, she took off. I was out of her in that moment. She ran.
We should have ran with A Train. Demarcus Bond is in the house with the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting Demarcus. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And my girl Bree is in the house with another super sticker in the $10. Thank you, guys. You guys are making me feel welcome to come back. Shout out to Bree for rolling up yesterday and paying for training day. When I tell you, I can't wait to put cases on all y'all and for everybody to be playing basketball in Pelican Bay. We back, okay? We are back. Thank you so much, Bree, for supporting me so heavily. But not to waste any time, because I don't want to keep y'all here forever. We gotta get into that last episode, because you know episode 7 was kind of working with a little bit of something too. I was like, oh, y'all really trying it here. But here, right about here is where let's start with, you know, start with my least favorite child. Start with Orion, episode 7. I don't know who was watching Comedy Central. I was, and all these little puppets was giving me Crank Yankers. It was giving me Crank Yankers, a Crank Yankers Muppet Christmas special. My mom wouldn't want this. Homelander is all out, you know, living his best life and, you know, trying to be corrupt and whatnot. And he isn't making as much time for Ryan and being in his corner. And we kind of have Homelander going back on his word from, I guess, the previous episodes of, you know, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm not going to. She's like, no, do it for me. And you have Ryan kind of taking a stance and going, you know what? This isn't right. And I don't want to do it. Ashley, how did you feel about Ryan in episode 7?
You know, Ryan, stand up. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this was the whole propaganda mission of see something, say something. If your parents are disagreeing with Vought and Homelander, turn him in. And he's like, no, my mom wouldn't want me to do that. It was Again, they wasted a ton of time on things that I don't feel like we really needed. I didn't need the Muppet Show 2024. I didn't need it. You know what I mean? I did think it was cute, you know, Butcher coming or him having the gift and seeing his mom and Butcher and that reminding him of who he really was. But again, we're still not getting a ton of progression into who Ryan is going to be. He's still wavering, right? Between which side he's going to choose. So.
Well, you guys know that we are normally here with a couple of fellas, and one of the fellas have just arrived in the back. He said, "What y'all not gonna do is end off this season finale, and I'm not gonna be here because I'm rolling up." Coming to the stage, and we love to see him here, Elliot with the Movie Files. Hello, Elliot. How are you doing?
Good. How we doing tonight? How we doing?
We are okay. Thank you for being here, Elliot.
Of course. I'm glad, Tyra, to see that you and the family are doing well. I know it's been a hell of a last few weeks or so I'm glad to see you.
Lord, spoken lightly. Yes, Elliot.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. But we are just kind of recapping a little bit of episode 7 because I missed last week. And I guess I'll come to you since you're joining in. How did you feel about this, you know, Crank Yankers Christmas special episode, and Ryan just kind of taking a stance of, I don't want to do this and I'm not doing it even if Homelander told me to.
Yeah, episode 7, Ryan was I know we've been talking about it for most of the season. It's been a little bit hot and cold, at least for me, as far as the handling of Ryan, but you know, it's a Christmas special. It's in the Christmas spirit. You got to have someone that at least wants to stand up for the right of people or the good of people. So I like that he kind of had this moment of like, this is, you know, a picture from Butcher family, how important family can be, and you know, Pseudo's chosen family ever since with him and Mallory and Butcher, and not actually having his mom alive and his dad is psychotic. So it was nice. It was a nice touch, but you know, the inconsistencies of this character was just beyond frustrating, which I'm sure we'll talk about when we get to the finale or whatnot. But you know, shout out to the good spirited Ryan in this episode.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna go to this next slide, and I am gonna come to you because I really want to get to episode 8. I ain't gonna shortchange y'all, but I really want to get to episode 8. Homelander fired me. Don't go. I love you. This absolutely set me because you just could not tell the deep that he wasn't the only one. We gonna have to talk about Sage because I think we have been waiting for Sister Sage to have this immaculate plan that was just unraveling, and everything that Homelander and the Lights of Firecracker have to say, everything is working in motion. This is what I wanted to happen. This is, you know, don't mess up. And it's like, you know what? You're messing up with the mold. You're not doing what you need. We're just gonna let you go and fire you. At which we have, you know, Noir like, don't go. After everything we had, it didn't mean nothing. It's like, what? You too? Like, yeah, you were never special. But Kay, how did you feel about the firing of Sister Sage, or just the dynamic of just Firecracker and Homelander? I don't think it was anything that wasn't expected. But she's also, you know, getting down with Noir, and she wasn't lobotomized to do that. We were just getting down free will. So Sage is, you know, sleeping with some of the 7 and having her master plan in motion, whatever that is.
I knew after she had got, you know, popped in the head and she lost all of her sense temporarily, you know, Homelander don't like to be embarrassed. Mm-hmm. And for him, that was embarrassing. So I knew that no good was gonna come after that. Like when he saw her looking that way and it made him look weak, he was like, oh no, she got to go. And yeah, so Sage, really Black Noir and the Deep. One was already bad. Actually, I wouldn't have blamed you if it was just you and Black Noir. I wouldn't blame you right then. I'm just like, you know, go girl. But both of them, and both of them thought that they was in love too. Seriously.
I'm really conflicted on what Sister Sage is coming for. Like, I thought we would get more intel into her plan, but I'm not liking it, and I'm not receptive to it at all. Ashley, do you see the vision that Sage has in the situation, and were you here for her sleeping with Black Noir?
I mean, well, yeah, that part. Like, go ahead, sis. And she didn't even need to lobotomize herself for him. So absolutely. But as far as Sister Sage, you guys know from the beginning, I hated the way that she was positioned in this as like, I'm in service to Homelander, and it's all about what you want and your mission, and I'm just here to be your tool and to be used. And we'll get into it in the finale because I was utterly and completely pissed off. But yeah, no, this didn't surprise me. He threw her away like garbage, and at the behest of Firecracker. Like, really, girl? And we'll talk about it for episode 8, but no, don't like anything about it. Hopefully they'll redeem her in season 5. I don't know how for me. But no.
It's like we circled we circled right back around to Magical Negro real quick. And I thought that we were really about to get away from that and be really in awe of, aha, this was Sage's master plan all the time. This has been very self-serving. So far, this is only serving Homelander. Oh, the Deep kills Ambrosius. Ciao. No, first of all, don't do me. I know everything. I know you from the top of your head to the tippy bottom of your toes. I already knew you were sleeping with Sage and you're cheating on me. What I need you to understand is she does not give a damn about you. And he just takes all of this to heart. I would love for us to lose the Deep, but for whatever reason, the show wants us to keep the Deep. And he doesn't really serve a strong purpose. I keep waiting for the happening to happen with the Deep, and it's just like, oh my God. No, we keep just getting the fumbling village idiot type of thing with him, and him wanting to have a sense of importance, and I am smart, and I can do things too, and she loves, and it's just like, you know what? You're not telling me what I want to hear, so I'm going to take you out the tank. I'm going to come to Elliot. Elliot, how did you feel when this happened? Did it hit you in your heart to lose Ambrosius?
Well, shout out to Tilda Swinton, who is probably in an elite class for a lot of cinephiles as far as like actors of a generation. For her to take the time out to just lend her voice, obviously she got paid for it, but to lend her voice to a kind of a silly subplot that I think at this point, to go to your point, Tyra, with how the Deep is still alive in this world is crazy to me, but he's the manifestation of just like a yes man. So like, he's only alive because he literally does everything that Homelander says. And he's almost the antithesis of like a Starlight, Queen Maeve, or even, A-Train. Like he just literally is just here for the ride. And I think whenever the show cuts to him, it's kind of is meant to be like levity, because when the boys is at its best, it can get dark. And as we'll talk about with season 8, with obviously the real world parallels going on. But, I think he's literally just at this point, the butt of the joke. Obviously he's the Justice League Aquaman of the group. So it's always the puns and the jokes and fall in love with this octopus. So that's honestly at this point, I never take anything seriously when we get to the Deep. I think in season 2 was the only time they actually like took time to like try to give him, when he was like joining the religious group and going through all that stuff and him trying to find who he wants to be. Like that was like, that's legit. Whenever we cut to him, like, okay, let's see what they do. But from that point on, it's literally just been the butt of the joke. So again, I don't take it too seriously. And the only thing I took away from it was Tilda Swinton is willing to have fun and just do roles like this, or her time in the MCU. So not much to take away from it for me.
Ashley, I'm going to come to you. I have at least been waiting for Unhinged Deep to do something that's just so stupid that it harshly affects everyone. Like only he can. We can't even get that. He's still, the funky and the follower. I'll do anything you want me to do, Homelander. Ashley, do you care at all for the Deep or what he could be in the last season? It's muted.
And I'm running my mouth because I've had such a deep disdain for the Deep since season 1, episode 1, when he did Starlight, how he did her. He's a predator forever in my eyes, and I've wanted him unalived 100 times over. I could care less about him and his, weird, thick situation with Ambrosius. I'm glad she's gone too. He should have went with her. They should have left together. She offered, right? She told him. She said, "Let's go away to the Barrier Reef or something." Yeah, go with sis. Why don't y'all make that trip? And then after he unalives her, he now has this resolve. Homelander, I'll unalive whoever you want me to. Just get rid of this is one of those characters we can just, give him time to write the main story.
Kay, sadly, this is the only real love that he is ever going to have. Like, she genuinely loved this man. Kay, anything on this?
He hooked up with a black woman 2 times. And he done just got emboldened. Like she done told him, oh, don't let people talk to you like that. You need to stand on business. You the king of the sea. And he been puffing out his chest ever since. And she really ain't even want you like that. So ever since then, he done, because he was humbled for a little while. When he got let back into the 7, he was humbled. And then here comes Sage. Oh, I don't know why you let people talk to you like that. You strong and all this. And he's just like, oh, really? I am. And the smartest person in the world thinks that I'm brave and I'm powerful. And then now he treating the only person that actually care about him like crap. He could have put her back in the ocean and just let her go on about her business. But no, he had to show that he was a real creep. And I guess he want to be in his villain era. You've always been a villain. And we don't even know why you're still here. Like, you're not doing anything to help anybody right now. Just like Starlight, y'all are both just here.
But what I wanted to know was, if we're sleeping with Black Noir in the deep, and there was supposed this bigger grand scheme of plan, I thought the whole thing was to maybe, hopefully later on, manipulate these men into doing your bidding. We haven't seen any of that at this point. She just the vault pass around. Like, I'm not liking this look in this narrative at all. Thank you so much, Dane C, for the $2. Welcome, Tyra and panel. Yes, I'm here, Dane. I'm back. Thank you so much for supporting. And you know, for old time's sake, I have to send the deep and Ambrosius off on a proper note for old time's sake, for the last time. And we will be right back.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to her, girl. You get to go on and live in the ocean and the sky.
It's just a feeling. You have to soothe it. You can neglect it. You can abuse it. It's just desire. You cannot waste it. Then if you want it, then I want you to taste it. She wants to give. She wants to give it. All she wants to give it. She wants to give it. All she wants to give it. She wants to get it. Yeah. All she wants to give it. She wants to give it. All she wants to give it.
One thing in life you must understand. The truth of lust, woman, man. Just open the door and you will see. There are no secrets. Make your move, set me free.
Because there's something about you, baby, that makes me want to give it to you. Swear there's something about you, baby.
Just promise me whatever we say, I'll never look at each other. For now, we'll make a vow to just keep it in the closet.
I most definitely have the deep fan cam. Why not? Oh, girl, R.I.P. He literally kept you in the closet and you died in
the closet.
We wanted him to release her into the ocean. Like, the deep is a truly disturbed individual, and the day that we lose him, it'll be a good day. A-Train for the win. Now, I would just like to say the whole fight in A-Train rolling up with the save, I was like, this is what we like. The comeback, the fighting, the back and forth. First of all, I'm not even finna just ponder on Homelander sending the deep in Black Noir to take down Butcher and Starlight. Like, why? You clearly didn't want them dead at that bad. But we still get on A-Train's redemption. When I tell you I am surprised, I think we were all collectively thinking that A-Train was going to be on his way out, and he survived this entire show. But we have him finally feeling like a hero and doing all of these good deeds, and it's just like, you know what? Everything's found out. Everybody knows everything. I'm gonna get my family and get the heck out of here. After he told Marvin that he needed to stay and not get his family and get the heck out of there. But it's just like, yeah, the jig is up, and Ashley, out of fear, decides to stay there at Vault. Ashley, how are you feeling about A-Train?
Listen, you know how I feel. Like, I want everybody to win, and I am proud of A-Train. I think he's doing a great job at his penance, right, for his past crimes. I was happy he at least made it out this season. I don't think he'll last the series. Like, I think as soon as he comes back, it's over for him. Homelander put on his tears. A-Train was my friend. Shut up, Homelander. You have no friends, right? I thought it was precious. Save Mother mother's milk because he was on his way out of here, or so we thought. The little boy looking up at him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a good person now." Going back, come on, Ashley. They know. Let's get out of here. This part is what confused me, that Ashley just didn't hightail it out of there. I said, "Is she going to try to be a martyr? Like, what's the vibes?" It wasn't as, grand as all that. But yeah, I mean, I can't ask anything more of A Train right now. He really has been making strides to be a better Soup.
Elliot, what's wrong with Ashley? Is she really that terrified to leave, or is there something else going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with them keeping her alive, I'm really into, especially when we get to episode 8 and seeing another version of her. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of fear. Yeah, like unlike on A Train, she can't literally run away from her problems. Like, she's a human being, she can get killed much easier than him. So I think she's just a matter of fear, almost like Stockholm syndrome, even maybe. So, but again, we'll talk about her more in episode 8. But as far as the A Train of it all, I think it's an interesting arc. It goes back to season 3, after killing Blue Hawk and getting his heart in there and having like second chances and having a new outlook on life and trying to do the right thing. So it's been an arc that's been funny enough, not fast enough. It's taking its time. It's just a slow burn, and I'm like how they're handling it. And I don't know, Ashley. I think he might survive season 5. Like, I think he will be joining the. I think it's going to be him joining the boys, and a nice little lineup with potentially the boys minus Butcher, which we'll talk about, but A Train, maybe Ashley joined the group, and maybe Soldier Boy and Queen Maeve. So he might survive the entirety of the show and having that complete arc, or he might sacrifice himself and die. But either way, I do like what they're doing with him, and that they didn't kill him this season, because that was a big rumor that a lot of people had speculated that it was just a matter of time that he was going to die. But he lives to fight another day.
Shout out to the 62 people here in this live. Keep engaging, showing us love, and hitting that like button. We really, really appreciate it. Kay, I'm going to come to you. Butcher is literally dying to do the right thing. Because if you do the wrong thing and follow this Kessler energy, I can reinvigorate you and make you come alive again. But we have the likes of, first of all, I didn't care 2 dams about Frenchie getting out of jail. I was like, we did all of that just to, conveniently get Frenchie out. But we do have, it's so frustrating because I know we were all looking upside Kamiko's and Frenchie's head, like, what is going on with their storylines? And it's just like, we did all of that just to bring them right back together. But what sent me, outside of Butcher trying to do the right thing, still at this point informing them about the virus and his intention with Samir, is a one-legged Samir getting the drop on the likes of Frenchie and Kamiko, and having to, instantly amputate her leg, as well as them really getting into the forgiveness that they should be finding in each other and for each other, versus Frenchie trying to get himself locked away and practicing avoidance. Kay, what did any of this do for you? Were you here for Samir hopping away?
I got to give it to him because he never gave up. You got to give it to him. He fought. He fought and he fought. He didn't just give in. But he had to know that that wasn't going to take Kamiko completely out, because she can regenerate. But he did. He tried. And I'm like, if we bring, Frenchie, I need you to do something. Like, be useful if we're back. Be useful. And did he, you know what? Did he even apologize to the boys for like just leaving abruptly? No. And just ain't say nothing why he left and how he could have put them all at risk. He just like, I'm back. Hey y'all, I didn't know this was gonna happen.
No, he didn't say that. He came in and was like, I'd rather be anywhere else but here.
Ungrateful. They should have left his ass right where he was. Ain't say nothing to nobody, just gonna come in humbly like I thought I was where I should have been, and didn't care that Kamiko was up there every day because she ain't got no real friends and family. Just no nothing. Rude.
Ashley, were you here for some of Kamiko's backstory of, why and how she became mute, and she and Frenchie reconnecting, as well as Butcher still at this point trying to do the right thing?
I mean, yeah, but it's still, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but we still never really got closure with the young lady from before. It was like they were there, strong, we're having fights and chases and everything, and then they just disappeared and we never saw them again.
I was thinking about that too last night. I was like,
I'm like, where'd they go? But yeah, the backstory, okay, girl, we get it. You were traumatized. You were in some sort of weird, sick fight club. I get it. the Samir part though. Can we talk about that and the idea that they were going to let him go? You know, Samir, you don't need to stay. We're going to let you go. And he hops on that one good leg and says, I'm going to do this going out. I'm going to escape. I'm going to get back to my Vic. I was just like, be for real. I didn't know if we needed that, you know, for Frenchie to start synthesizing a virus. But I guess it worked in their favor, right? Because we had to use Kamiko's leg in episode 8 to get what we needed. So I guess all is fair, I suppose. I was over it. I was over this part.
I'm over here reading some of y'all comments talking about it. We know about I think from day one we all knew Kessler was a hallucination of whatever that was inside of his body. Elliot, I am going to come to you. Marvin, really? I can't come with y'all. We literally have Marvin gearing up to, per usual, get his wife and child out of the country to protect them for bigger things ahead. And it's just like, no, that's not enough. I want you here with me, with our daughter. We need you. She needs you. We can all go to Belize together. Of course, we have A-Train conveniently talk him down off the ledge. I would never get over A-Train in that grand speech and him doing the exact same thing he told Marvin not to do. But Marvin opts to stay. And I'm just like, Marvin will need you. I mean, we do know that mother's milk serves a heavy purpose in the boys, whether it's the muscle or the voice of reason, or, you know, they all work as a puzzle piece. But in totality, if you left and went to, you know, be with your family, I don't think it would change a thing. And you might not get this opportunity again. Ellie, do you think Marvin made the right decision?
I think, you know, sometimes this show, you got to suspend disbelief and just kind of go along with the punches, because on one end, yes, if he does leave, you know, it's a clear shot to kind of have that peaceful life. But in his mind, like, he's fully aware of if Homelander gets what he wants, which is Vic in the White House, or as we'll talk about in episode 8, Homelander essentially running America, then there's really no place that he can run. And that's where A-Train says to him in an apartment, like, bro, if you really think that you can go and live a happy life, you're living in a dream, because they're going to get you if it comes down to it. So he had his moment of clarity, or not clarity, but he had his moment of happiness when his wife kissed him and said, I wanted to be back with a family. So that to me is his driving force of like, I want this, but I can't get this until I know definitively I did all that I can to protect my family. And that is going after Homelander. And, you know, essentially, if you take down Homelander, you would assume that it's like the head of the snake, and everyone else will kind of fall in line and they can have some sense of order back. So again, it was a nice sentiment to have that there. Like, this is his motivation for season 5 of getting back to his family. Because if he just left, it would be like, that was kind of anticlimactic for the character. So again, his whole thing next season will be, I want to get to wherever his family is, or you can see them set up the story where they find his family. And again, maybe that's where A-Train comes in and then he saves his family and all that stuff. But I like that they at least keep that door open, that he has something to fight for, which is his family, and him teaming up with the boys to make sure they're safe.
Their revolving door of nothingness. You know what I wanted? I just wanted I'm on an island of, I just wanted a narrative from Marvin. You know, every time I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in. I took my family all the way to Belize and they rolled up on me on an island. I have no choice. Like, I just wanted him to try. Actually.
Mother's milk was passing out, having palpitations. Like, he's just not built for it at this point. You know, I like seeing him. I love Laz Alonso. You know what I'm saying? Love seeing his character. Love to see a Black Afro-Latino man working. Yes. But yeah, he could have went. He could have went on with his wife, because apparently, I mean, because if we need the kiss, I was like, oh, okay. They're rekindling this whole, like, that we never even really got to see them immersed in. So I'm like, all of the romantic stuff they're trying to throw in is just not landing for me at all in episode 7 or 8. But yeah, he should have went to go be with his daughter. I mean, she's still doing the most, you know. So yeah, go be a dad. Go be a dad. Don't listen to A-Train. Go be a dad. Go be a husband. Live your best life off the grid, you know.
Child,
so you can live.
Ain't nothing waiting here for you but some bodily fluids and some man meat to be slapped across your face. That's all they ever do.
Every chance they get. Every chance they get.
Go. Oh, we have this mind reading, skin shedding, shape shifting assassin. I loved this shapeshift, I was like, oh, please don't die. Please don't die. This is the best thing to hit the boys in a long time. I thought it was creative. I thought it built a lot of suspense because you would never know who was who and what was what. And they were really like strong. It was giving me, you know, a little. I love something that's gonna give me T-1000. I love that. It was giving that. I love that. And then we have, you know, Web Weaver being the mole, and we literally have Homelander rip Web Weaver in half. I really thought they ran that his web weaveness coming out of his back end into the ground. But you know, they love to, you know, give us some disgust. But we have that, and I just really, at this point in the show, I really wanted us to hold on to this shape-shifting assassin as long as we could. Kay, how did you feel about these two things?
Yeah, sometimes I just question the writers of these shows. Who comes up with this? Because we could have had a regular shapeshifter. No, we got to make sure we see the flesh being ripped off and forming a whole new person. Like, who thinks of that? Like, they take things and make it so it looks horrific. And it's like, it's cringy, but you can't look away at the same time. So I did like the shape shifting as well. And I think that Firecracker needed to be there to see that Homelander cares nothing about anyone. And all it takes is for a second and somebody's gone. Like, he unalized people. He don't think twice about it. He don't ask no more questions. It's like, if you're getting on my nerves and I don't want to talk to you no more, you're gone. Like, she looked truly terrified that he did that in front of her. And like, I'm like, was you not afraid of him before? Like, did you not know he was like crazy before? So I think she needed to know that. Like, this ain't your friend, Firecracker. This ain't your homeboy. This ain't your surrogate son. This is a psychopath.
Elliot, what did you think about our first introduction into the shapeshifter and Homelander being Homelander?
The Homelander scene, yeah, that was just kind of, you know, our shock value of the week moment of him splitting him in half. So it really wasn't too much from there for me from a narrative perspective, besides, as Kay was kind of alluding to, that Firecracker got to see it in real time of like just how easily these soups can be disposable for him if you go against him or what have you. So that was a wake-up call for her, potentially. She's still loyal to him, giving him the breast milk. So we'll see what comes of all that next season. But as far as to I think Kay said it. And you said it too, Tyra. I love the idea of the shapeshifter, and I think Dane in the comments mentioned that it is an homage to the shapeshifters from Eric Kripke did Supernatural. He obviously is the writer of this show, so it was kind of a nod to that because and I don't think it was as explicit as this because that was Supernatural's on CW, so they couldn't go to the full nasty ripping of the skin type of thing, which I love because I'm a big werewolf fan, like anything werewolf mythology. And I love when werewolves have their transformation.
Van Helsing.
Yeah. So I was like, I love that a lot, and I was so mad, as we'll talk about episode 8, that they killed the shape. Well, we'll talk about it. There's still like. We'll talk about it. But I thought that out of all the things that Sage came up with, this was the best idea that she's came up with, to hire a soup that can literally be anyone. And you can, as the plan was, taking an identity of one of the boys, a la Annie, and blame it on them. Genius idea. So hopefully this is the second shapeshifter-ish. We first met the doppelganger in season 2. Now we have a shapeshifter. So I'm hoping that there is another type of shapeshifter out there to continue that narrative of like having someone that can infiltrate anything at any point, anytime. You don't know who it is. I love that idea. So hopefully this was just like I think that the shapeshifter might still, we'll talk about it when we get there. But yes, I thought that having them being involved was really cool. And it was a cool scene in general, and a really cool nod to the Supernatural lore.
Thank you. Thank you, Dane C, for the $2. Mad they canceled the A-Train movie, right? I wanted to see Will Ferrell do his Will Ferrell-ness on screen. Thank you so much, Dane C, for the $2. Ashley, I'm going to come to you, but I'm going to ask you one question only. When you saw the shapeshifter and the capabilities, did it cross your mind at any point that the shapeshifter might be Huey's mother?
No.
Oh, that's where my mind went.
No, I never thought in a million years that.
That's where my mind went, because, you know, the shapeshifter is there to, you know, infiltrate and get information. And I was like, we still, which we're going to get into, didn't get any closure with Huey's mother. I was like, I wonder if it's Huey's mom. That's the first thing popped into my head. That would explain so much. I was just wondering, let me go to the next slide. It was just me. Did nobody else think that? It was just me.
for like a hot second, I had mentioned that in my breakdown of that particular week, but then the more and more I thought about it, it would have been like, what would it have served to the main plot? Because it's just like Huey what information or intel would a shapeshifter have gotten for Huey? So I was with you for a minute, but I'm like, it would have been too much for Huey. You take his dad away, he's getting assaulted, it would have been too much at that point. So I was in that camp for a little bit, but I'm like, yeah, but then what is he or she, whatever them is, would get from Huey? What intel would they need?
No, but the only thing that did that for me was this isn't just your typical shape-shifting assassin. They go into a great deal of, detail with their lives, like getting Huey to propose, like certain things that you don't have to do. Like you already have the information at this point, all the sex throughout the week. It just seems like there was this personal vendetta to not only infiltrate her life, but I want to ruin it. I want it to sting a little bit. And we get that with the interaction that the shapeshifter has later with Starlight. But I was like, oh, I wish it was the mom. But it might not be. It might not. Actually, I'm gonna come back to you, Vicky. It's not too late to stop this. How did you feel when Huey, Huey who conveniently gets hurt every other scene? I'm so over Huey getting hurt. I don't want to see that. We didn't go to the ER for our hand. We rolled up on Vicky to give her a chance to cease all of this, and she rejects him. Did this do anything for you, Ashley?
I hate to sound like a broken record, but absolutely not. Huey's at this point unredeemable for me. I don't think I'll have an affinity for him ever again. Like they have literally ruined him for me because first of all, Vic is in too deep. There's nothing that you can say, barring, your daughter's in danger, that she is going to, in some way change her mind about her plan because she's more afraid of Homelander than she is of anything else. And he's aware of that. I mean, I guess they're maybe just playing on this friendship that they had once upon a time. But again, to me, it was just kind of like,
Child, they pushed that friendship real far, real far. Kay, did you think for 1 second that V might even consider what Huey had to say?
For the sake of her daughter, I think like she entertained it, and she had a pretty good friendship with Huey. But she's at the end of the day, she's always going to do her because she's also afraid of Homelander on some scale. So it's just like, I hear you, but Huey, you don't have the ability to hurt me or my child. Homelander does.
Cow, she dug herself into a hole. Thank you, Dane C, for the $2. The shapeshifter is from the TV show Supernatural. I have never seen Supernatural. I don't know what I was watching with Supernatural.
It's great. It's great. Up until a certain point. It ran way too long, and that's why Eric Kripke's like season 5 is it because they ran Supernatural into the ground. But the first 6 seasons were really great.
I'll check it out. I think because it was on the CW. Thank you, Dane. I think because it was on the CW, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. But I was old school WB watching Charmed and whatnot. It wasn't giving what I needed to do, so I left the CW around that time. But it might be something to check out if we doing shapeshifters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna come to you. Really, Huey? He says huggies. That's so befitting for Huey anyway. Because, this was from the moment prior to this, in this episode, I think from here we get into episode 8. From the moment that we have Starlight reaching out to her mom, and it's just like, you need to leave, and her mom's talking about expectations, and she goes into more length about why she didn't want to bring a baby into this world. And we have seen the state of Starlight forever now. We just coming in. She was disgusted by this her costume earlier. She said, I don't want to wear the suit. I'm disgusted by it. I throw it out. But she has it on. Not only do we have it on, but we fulfilling fantasies. We are having sex on the fly. And I was like, as soon as she came in there and it was sex, I was like, that is not her. I never thought for 1 second immediately. I was like, yeah, just the attitude. We have not gotten this from Starlight, and we do, try to flesh out their little relationship a little bit, getting into their home life this episode. But I just love the fact that in that brief encounter, even though we know they're together in real life, that he has with V, there's more chemistry there than we have ever gotten with them this entire season. But Ashley, did you know from this moment, when did you figure, before this reveal at all, that this was not Annie?
It was so bad, Tyra, that I literally, in my review, I had to go back and rewatch it because I thought this was a dream sequence that Huey was having, because she has not touched him. She has not breathed on him. She has not pinched him, not held his hand. Like, she has not rubbed his leg. Literally, there has been no affection between these two, like, this season. And she's now all of a sudden riding it like a pony. Like, come on. Like, I was like, oh, Huey's dreaming about the Nana. Like, he must be down bad. And then I was like, oh yeah, that was the shapeshifter. But yeah, no, because no, Huey, come on, Huey, you know she's not busting it open like that for you, buddy. Like, y'all aren't doing anything. Come on, my guy.
Kay, did you think that maybe, you know, she was fulfilling his fantasy and doing it with the suit on, and that maybe this could have been Annie? Did you think it was her?
Huey done been violated a couple times this season and lost a whole parent. And Annie ain't even rubbed his arm to console him. And now all of a sudden we clapping cheeks. Huey, wake up. Wake up. It's not coming. And I get it. The shapeshifter was good. We had the looks, we got the voice, we even got the memory and the mindset. But you know, Annie ain't gave a damn about you in a long while. Okay. She ain't even hold your hand through the tough times or nothing. You had to know this was a little suspicious.
It was giving, even when we got into their home life, it was giving roommates. Like, I'm living with my bestie. Elliot, did you think for 1 second that this was actually Annie, or did you know before the reveal or after?
I think, yeah, there was some signs. I do wish, and not to rewrite shows or quarterback in the show, but I do wish that the reveal would have been that she's been Annie for like at least half the season. Because that would have really set up like a lot of complications. Like, oh, that explains why her powers aren't working, or that explains why her and Huey aren't having that physical connection, because there's something off. So I was hopeful that they were going to flash back to, again, episode 2 or something where the switch happened, but it was like, oh no, it all happened in that one episode. I'm like, oh, you had something that would have been so meaty to bite on and just so open so many doors. But neither here nor there. I thought the reveal was kind of interesting, in the Huey of it all. Not taking in. I know he addresses it later in episode 8 of why he, when it clicked for him, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we've been talking about it for weeks as far as like their lack of chemistry. And I don't know, we speculated, is it just to show the actors not feeling comfortable? Because as we talked about that Huey and Vic date in real life, but again, they're all professionals. I don't think that would have been the case, whatever the case may be. But it was just odd that, yeah, how it all transpired. And I guess going back to looking at the lack of physicality this season might be an end result of the abortion of it all. And like, she just maybe didn't want to get physical with him again, and just didn't want to be in that physical mindset, because she made the decision not to keep the kids. So maybe that explains some of their lack of romance this season. But yeah, I was really hopeful that when they did the reveal, that it was like, she's been Annie for this whole time.
So good.
That would have been nice.
It was so good. And then Elliot, not Elliot, Annie, the way she tried to have an attitude later in the episode, like if it would have been like, I was missing
y'all didn't
time. You didn't. None of you noticed that it wasn't me. That would have been so freaking good. Like, y'all slipping, writers. Y'all slipping heavily. That would have been really good, and a pinpoint to really put into their relationship, like she was trying to do. You don't want, the depressed, out of touch or whatever, Annie. You want this fantasy of people, giving you butt play and fulfilling everything that you ever wanted. Because he ain't got none. He ain't got none. He had none since it had him. It was he was just happy to be getting some, and it just left for that. Before we get into this episode, this finale episode, I'm going to show you guys some love. Shout out to the 78 people here in this live. We really, really appreciate you guys for engaging and getting in here and chatting it up with us. We will be right back. Keep hitting that like button and keep showing us some love. Guess I'm going to go over here to Marvin and his inner peace, because clearly he don't want none if he keep going back to the boys.
I gotta find peace of mind. I know now I have to face. I gotta find peace of mind. Please don't let me disgrace. He says it's impossible. The temptations of my past, but I know it's possible. Will my devotion
me without him. Please help me forget about him. He takes all my energy. Trapped in my memory. Constantly holding me. Constantly holding me. I need to.
Shout out to Marvin. He don't love the people. Okay, I'm sick of it, Marvin. We understand, Marvin, but if you decided to go find your peace of mind in Belize, I would have been here for it. But getting into the finale, damage control and PR. I take responsibility for racism. We don't have to dwell on this. I just thought this was so funny. I just thought this was really, really funny to just even get into them doing damage control for just the image that's been out there, and also letting us know that they canceled A-Train's film. We know why. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this. I just
got to bring up though, the funniest part to me was the canceling the film, because it was commentary on the Batgirl film being canceled because WB Reasons was a tax write-off. That was the funniest part to me because of the satire of it all. Yeah,
just even the satire with these parodies for shows like Good Morning America, the campaign of I Take Responsibility, like they poke fun. Nobody's safe. The boards are kind of right over there with South Park as far as where they are willing to go with calling certain things out, but just the canceling of everything, like it's very tongue in cheek, and I loved it. It was really, really funny. But when we have the likes of the Deep saying, you know, I take responsibility for it.
I wanted to throw something at the TV.
I thought that was really, really funny. But leaving this here, we won't get to see Will Ferrell, train A-Train. Bringing up A-Train. We get here. Will you marry me? Huey knew that this was not Annie. Getting it in every day and twice on Sunday. He's just living his best life. We have Annie coming out. Now, granted, the shapeshifter isn't just merely shapeshifting. We're getting into the thoughts. We know everything about the person in history for maybe Huey to think that this is really her. But the transition from where Annie has been this entire season to just jumping into Will You Marry Me? There should have just been a light bulb instantly in Huey's head that this was not Annie. And I thought it would happen way before it did. Ashley, were you here for the proposal?
No, it was ridiculous. But I will say this, right? Later on, we find out Huey says, my first instinct was, or my first clue was that she had on designer. You love being in your t-shirt and sweatpants. Okay, Huey, but then you still proceed to go and get your ancestor's ring and bring it back to her to propose with. So apparently, he liked the two fingers. I was like, is he traumatized by it or was he into it? Like, she's all of a sudden trying new sexual things with him. Like, come on, Huey. He wanted this new one. He wanted Shapeshifter Starlight. I believe he liked her better than he liked Starlight. He did.
I thought this would bring up more questions. All the instant forgiveness we got later in the episode, and you're going to get tested. I was like, no, this is really bringing up some judgment issues in our relationship. The fact that you had all those burning ideas of, maybe this isn't Annie, and you didn't pounce on him until this very moment because you were enjoying the Annie that you have. Like, we have issues in this relationship, clearly, and we just instantly forgive him. Okay?
When he said, I'll be right back, I just knew it clicked for him and he was about to come back with a pistol. I thought he was like, I was like, come on, Huey, let's blast her. And he come back with a ring. I was like, I know you lying. you got to be lying. When has Annie this whole season been this giddy and happy like that? She don't even look at him like that. Like, he was literally living a fever dream. And it's like, and I feel bad because I feel like he wants that from Annie, and he's longing for that, and he's not getting it. So he was just probably trying to hold on to just a piece of like, she sees me again now, like we're cool again.
Elliot.
Yeah, this is some of the one of many of examples this season of kind of the shortcoming in the writing department, because there's so much that could have been handled with just all the psychology of number one, the world might be ending, so forget it. Let's just get married type of mindset. Number two, I mean, he just lost his dad, the coming back of his mom, the being taken, the Tech Nine of it all. Like, he's been through a whirlwind, but we haven't seen it on screen. And it's just like there's so much you could have gave Huey to address why he was so blinded by the fact that I think at this point, chronologically, they've been together for maybe 2 years if we follow within the world of the boys. So there's enough time that has been spent with them that he should be able to know an imposter versus his real, Annie January. So I just think they really missed the opportunity to kind of show his, really where his mindset is, that all the stuff he's been dealing with so far has completely thrown him off to just notice something that's right there. But instead of just kind of chalking it up to, what it was, I'm getting action. So I'll just dismiss how my girlfriend has felt this whole episode or this whole season so far. So this is, to me, was just a poor writing example of just like they could have handled this so much better. And they just decided to just use it as a joke, as some people mentioned in the comments earlier, like just the handling of Huey and the lack of like addressing his, vulnerability of being Tech Nine, almost killing him and everything that went through with that. And obviously everything of like the mental of sleeping with, like, what's the psychology of him sleeping with someone that's not his girlfriend? Like, that's almost reminds me of the big debate that everyone had with Wonder Woman 84 of how Wonder Woman was sleeping with someone else's body, but the Trevor character really wasn't there. Yeah. So there could have been a lot to explore, but instead they just use it as a kind of a joke and more or less. So shortcomings for sure.
With your storyline, and it could have been the, hey, Annie's been this shapeshifter this whole time. This could have been an out for them to break up. They could have broken up.
Which they should have seasons ago. And honestly, I would have been okay with Vic and Huey having a little bit of romance, instead of for the friendship angle, because he could have been the new stepdad. They could have played with that. They should have did that last season.
That would have been interesting. They would have made the dynamic with him and Homelander and the
so
ending
much more complicated. Yeah.
So if y'all are looking for somebody, to write on the show, me and Elliot said, "What's up?" We said, "What's up?" Well, we don't even charge them prices. Come on down. Like, the price is right, and pick your girl and you got up, because y'all clearly need some help. Okay. Frenchie's back. Frenchie's back, and he's being Frenchie. Frenchie's just okay now. We have him completely descend down into the abyss of nothingness and drugs, and to the point of having himself, committed. And I just rather be behind bars than be here. It's just like, no, he's resourceful, getting that virus together, Frenchie again. And I want to love Frenchie so much again, but they just, they soured me on Frenchie to where I'm just like, Frenchie could have been this Frenchie episode 3. Ashley?
Yeah, this whole kind of, let's get him to synthesize the virus. Okay, in every 2 seconds. Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready? I was really annoyed by that whole situation. I'm like, it's not going to get ready any faster, my guy. Yeah, Frenchie does not have the he just doesn't have it anymore for me. Like, his character is giving nothing. Again, another character that they ruined for me. Along, and we'll get to, I guess, the whole like little love thing with him and Kamiko. Like, another, to me, that's a lost opportunity. We could have worked on that at the beginning rather than have Colin in the mix. It's like they just did stuff just to do it, and like that's the part I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, and I really liked Frenchie. Frenchie was one of my faves. He was like in my top in the first couple seasons, and now it's just and we knew this, right? We knew, okay, Samir's not gonna synthesize the virus. They're gonna have to get Frenchie at some point. That's why he's still alive. He's going to help them in some way, but it was no payoff for me with it. I didn't feel any satisfaction in his scenes at all.
Yeah, they just tried to make us like Frenchie again, and it's not working. I'm still mad. He still ain't apologized in the way that I would have liked him to, and he still ain't gave no, other than his guilt. Everybody got guilt. You ain't the only person that has killed people. Everybody's hands are dirty at this point. You and Kamiko, just go work it out in therapy. But what you were doing was just reckless at that point. Like nobody's feeling sorry for you right now. We got other stuff to do. Put that on the back burner right now. But Homelander exposing Vicky, he's been working on this plan for a while. He's been working on this plan for a long while, and I really feel bad that she was not ready for that. Like she didn't have anything to say. She didn't have anything to combat it or anything like that. Like, how are y'all letting Homelander be 2 steps ahead?
Oh, child, that's a sad. That's a we gonna get to that exposure, K. Like it's a sad day when Homelander's ahead of anybody. We know he the secret village idiot behind the deep. We got time for that. Elliot, do you care about Frenchie?
So I haven't read all of the comics, but after season 2, I was just so like in a craze of the boys that I started to read the comics. And I will say that the show, this is one of the few times that the adaptation to me is better than the original source material. Frenchie is way more fleshed out in the show than he is in the comics, and the same can go with a lot of these characters. But this is what happens when sometimes they put so much work into the character in seasons 1, 2, and 3 that now they're kind of running out of stuff to do. As we talked about for the last several weeks, that Frenchie has been such a just unnecessary character this whole season. The only reason he's there is just to kind of almost to prop up Kimiko's story, which I'm okay with. I much more prefer Kimiko than Frenchie, but also him as a character was kind of sacrificed to just go with the theme of like seeing their past. Like that's the only thing the Frenchie did this season is we learned that he is terrible. He killed all these people all these years, and it just kind of speaks to like the mirror of the boys that they're just as bad as the Supes because they, besides like some of them, but most of them are terrible people in most of the time. So that was all they really did to him. They could have found so many more creative ways to give us that from Frenchie. And him working on the virus to me just could have been even more creatively. If you wanted to have the Colin storyline, have a Soup kill Colin and just give him more of a motivation to be like, yes, we need to kill Soups. Let me get out of my head. Let me get out of my guilt stage and let me get back on track. But instead, it's just like he's in jail for 24 hours and now he's just like, okay, I guess I'll just jump back into action. It was poorly handled. Like that whole Frenchie stuff was just a complete waste of time because there's literally no. Again, and we'll talk about it at the end, but this season was just one big setup for what we're hoping that season 5 is going to be great. But the purpose of Frenchie this season was only, like I said, just to serve just the theme of like going back in their past and learning that they're not the best people. But other than that, Frenchie was like the worst character to me this season.
I wanted Frenchie to die.
Yeah, he should have died.
I want, and not just so much Frenchie, but with us being so deep into the show and we're getting our final season, it's only right that we would up the ante and lose one of the staple boys. And I think we had that cop out with us losing V instead, which we'll get into. Yeah. But I wanted Frenchie to die. I wanted him to be that sacrifice to be like, oh, now it's war. Like he couldn't even be a martyr. I hate that. Just think of that. Like this was one of the major shortcomings of this season when we get into Kimiko and Frenchie's storylines. But I really thought if we're not taking A Train, we definitely taking Frenchie. They both here? Wow. Tell the boys I'm sorry. Butcher getting his affairs in order and Kessler's proposition. I won't even spend too much time on this. I knew Butcher wasn't going nowhere. We all know. We all know Butcher isn't going anywhere. We do have him, in a sense, talking to Huey about this shop that he and I think his brother were going to go to, go there for me. I think it was maybe something foreshadowing for later, for maybe the boys to maybe, or him, or Huey, somehow for he and Huey or somebody to come back together and he's going to end up there. But him just saying his long goodbyes and, I failed you guys and I'm sorry. And also getting his situation together with Miss Grace down here. This didn't do anything for me because I was like, Butcher ain't going nowhere. Elliot, did you think for 1 second, just maybe think that Butcher was going to be on his way
out? This is the creative of me, like the metaphor of like metaphorically he died. Like the Butcher that we know died in that hospital bed when Mallory died. That was like his last remnants of like humanity died at that moment. So sure, that's there. But the suspense of it all, like we knew that he wasn't going to physically die in that moment. But I'll be honest with you, T. I think that this, to me, emotionally speaking, this was one of the more emotional plots in the finale. Seeing him kind of coming to odds meet of thinking he's going to die in the bed and having that conversation with going back to like when him and Huey were like at their peak of like him looking at Huey as a little brother and the conversation with Lenny, like, Carl Urban did his job in that scene where he was like, Huey, tell the boy. Like I'm like, and it's not this season that I was getting like emotionally connected. It was going back to like 3 and 2 and 1 and thinking back when we first met Butcher to where he's at right now. That played more than like this season. But yeah, I like, again, the metaphorical standpoint of him dying in this scene and him allowing Joe to fully take over. It worked for me. I just think that the execution could have been handled a little bit better, but it worked.
I like that, Ellie. I like the little metaphorical death of the Butcher. That Butcher. This new thing with the tentacles out of his chest. That's not the Butcher that we know. I did like the fact that we have the invade, because I think it gives me a disconnect because I don't give a damn about Huey. Him, potentially losing somebody else. I already lost my dad, and you see that Butcher's been. I thought it was cool that he's been blocking his phone calls and ignoring them the same way that he was doing to his dad. And it's just like, once again, I'm kind of losing a father figure, but nevertheless, I don't give a damn about Huey. Ashley.
Yeah, I liked how it was played on Butcher's end, not so much with Huey. And it could be maybe because he's been experiencing a ton of loss, like he's the perpetual victim. So maybe, but I mean, other than him tuning up his face, which we see him do all the time, I didn't really get like, the emotion of losing Butcher. Like Butcher's literally saying goodbye. Like, this is it, buddy. Go to the Topless Steakhouse for me. It's over. And Huey was like, okay. And then it was like, oh. And I just, I would have wanted more. And Grace comes in very callously. I was like, okay, Grace, like you see your good guy going out and she's just to the highest level of passivity. And I was like, well, okay. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Definitely. This is the end. Well, soon in a couple more scenes, right? This will be the end of the Butcher we know. Billy Butcher's gone. And now it's like Kessler 10.0 or something. I don't know, but yeah, I wanted to feel it more. I would have even liked a montage to those earlier seasons, possibly, right? Like when he and Huey met and they were on their little crazy missions. That would have been a good look. I might have shed a little tear, but
the boys, they are not giving you no montage.
Okay. It could have been a bloody one.
Okay.
I said, but if you don't get your ass out of that damn hospital bed while you over there acting like you really about to just lay down and take it, you ain't going no damn where. And he just and talk with his little soft voice and Huey, can you just do this one last thing for me? And sir, good and hell well, you was not finna just lay there and it was like. It reminded me of like Deadpool when he thought in Deadpool 2 when he thought he was about to die and he's just like giving all these speeches and he closes his eyes and he's like he opens them like, oh wait, I'm still alive. Like get up.
Yeah, it was. But Carl Urban is a phenomenal actor. I've been checking for Carl ever since Dredd. I love Carl Urban. I love him. Underrated film. Go watch Dredd.
Oh, it's great.
But, yeah. R.I.P. to the old Butcher. I love this scene. I was like, all right, Ryan, we finna get a standoff. Yeah, hit him with them laser eyes, but we ain't do that. Family portraits and Father Time. Homelander's inability to control anything. The acceptance chip that is on his shoulder. Now we have Homelander find that good old family portrait and he acts out like the child we know he is, destroying the apartment and burning up the flag, which was a whole big symbol. Like, not your breastfeeding flag that we see every time you get some titty. Like, oh, he's like, this is over. I'm tired. I'm done. But we have him just really go in on Ryan at this point and, come here. That's in order. I was like, okay, I thought this was going to be like a wake up call for Ryan, like, oh, this isn't what, I thought it was. I keep, getting two sides of you. One moment you're telling me, oh, it's going to be different with me. I'm not going to make you do anything you want to do. And there's going to be all this free will. And now you're telling me to come to you and it's in order and you're upset because I'm your father and he's not. If it wasn't going to be a standoff, I just wanted Ryan to have like, you know what? You aren't who I think you are. I'm leaving. It's never what I think it is with Ryan. And it's unfortunate because I want to like you, Ryan, and I still don't. Elliot, what did you think about this scene?
I was hopeful that maybe we're going to see Ryan and his dad maybe have some like physical confrontation just to let us know where his levels of power is. So far, we've only seen him kill humans. He killed his mom. He killed the stuntman and Mallory later in this episode. But I want to see like him. How does he test up against like an actual soup and someone as powerful as his dad, Homelander? So I was hoping that we were going to see a little bit of, like I said, physical confrontation. And and again, just switching scenes. Like I almost wish that this scene was later in the episode where we see him now going back to Vought after learning that that Homelander, did what he did to his mom. That would have been more of an impactful moment of being like, okay, now we can see if Ryan's really about that life. But the placement of it it was okay. It was all right. Because it opened the door of just more and more signs of this. My dad's unstable. It's not a safe environment. This man is literally burning his own stuff just from a photo. But again, I just wish narratively it would have been placed differently where we can actually maybe see a tease for what's to come in next season, which I think we're all confidently can agree that we will see Ryan versus Homelander at some point in season 5. But I wish the scene would have been like a little tease of that, of them like again lasering each other, or Ryan pushes his dad and Homelander's like, oh, I didn't know you were strong. Like I know you were my son, but I didn't know you were at that levels yet. But yeah, again, as I mentioned when we were talking about episode 7, and just the season in general, I thought Ryan was just like a MacGuffin this season. Really didn't have like the best drawn out motives and character growth and development. He was just kind of stagnant the whole season for me, and it was just like, oh, I'm leaning this way, or it just didn't flow well for me this season. But hopefully we see Ryan continue to grow, and I would love to see this actor like continue within this universe and maybe see him in Gen V at some point if they ever cross that over.
He need to go find himself.
Something.
I thought it was gonna be like a little standoff. I thought it was gonna be like, and I told y'all how I feel about anime. That inner dialogue.
Yeah.
Anime, like he's stronger. I'm better. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like he's because we dealing with these gray hairs. Like this jar is even fuller than it was in the beginning, and it's just like I'm getting older. So to have this, born soup who's stronger and kind of better than me in every way, and he's giving me a little run for my money, and he's a team. That would have been like a really like dagger at Homelander for him to in the future be that competition that we know he's considered Ryan to be this entire time. I didn't mind the scene coming first because for this situation to happen and then for you to go and I kind of like it there. I don't know if I want to leave yet. I was like, what after this? I was like, okay, that is letting me know that something's really disconnected with Ryan. It's not so much, he's just indecisive and he's young. Like for him to say, I like it there and I don't know if I want to leave my dad after this. Oh, you a little unhinged too. Ashley?
Yeah, I wanted what I was hoping from this scene that we would get was that he would actually see the monster that his father is, right, towards him. Like, so I wanted to see a little bit more aggression from Homelander as it relates to Ryan, but again, Ryan hot-tailed it out of there. Like a push, maybe he zapped him a little bit or something, not to take him out, but something to where when Grace delivers all that information right to him, he's like, you're right. Like, that is my dad. But of course, the boys, they're not going to make it that cute and they're not going to tie it with a bow for us. But it was kind of anticlimactic for me. I'm like, okay, the whole apartment's on fire and that's it. Like, you're just going to run away. We're not even going to get any deep conversation really in this. But yeah. And the public hairs are disgusting. And he even says it. And I'm like, how are you saying it's disgusting, gross. Homelander? And you're the one providing this jar full. Like,
and I want Ryan to give him a couple more to put in there.
Can I ask a question to the panel? How was Ryan getting from point A to B throughout this entire season? Was it me? Was he just flying everywhere? Was he taking an Uber? Like, how was he going from? And first off, he went to the hospital. He's talking about, wait a minute, you didn't realize you were going to like a bunker when you were like going down to this made up hot. Like, there's a lot of questions about Ryan, how he would end up from one place to another. I was very curious about that.
Elliot, every time we see Ryan appear, my head is just making my way downtown.
Yeah.
Well, I just picture him just going, on a city bus, walking the streets, and it's just, I'm assuming that he flew. It would have been nice to see that, to know, just, let the boy do something. We have seen Ryan do nothing. Anybody else? Well, how y'all think Ryan was getting around?
I think he flies too. And it'd be awesome to see it though. Like it'd be awesome to see, like you guys said earlier, kind of the extent of his powers. What can Ryan really do other than unalive humans? Like we've seen him toss a couple people. You think he singed some people, burnt them up a little bit, but let's see the rest of it. Why your dad is so threatened by you. Let's see that. I think he flies.
Packing heat. We know it, but he holding on to it for dear life. Okay, how you think Ryan getting around? Is he taking the city bus? Is he on the metro?
I don't. For all we know, he could walk through walls and teleport. They ain't even told us the extent of his powers. Like we don't know. We don't know all that he can do at this point. And if we can get past the teen angst, which I really hate in all films, I hate teen angst. If we can get past that, then maybe we can further see where he is at right now. Where is he at with his powers? And at some point, he's going to have to pick a side because he's leaving Homelander over there with Butcher. Then he's like, no, I don't want to be here. Then I want to leave here. At this point, there's no gray area. Ryan, you're going to have to pick a side. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because you bouncing back and forth and Homelander's mad at you now. Butcher's mad at you now. So you're going to have to do something. This teen ain't going to have to be pushed to the side. I need you to push out some of those powers and show us what you can do, or just go somewhere and sit down at this point. Sit down.
Because I know we're all kind of assuming it's Homelander's sons. He's displayed. He might have all kind of things in artillery that we don't need. Yeah. Just like Homelander could be like, even at this moment, it would have been like, I didn't know you could do that. I can't do that. Like that would give us something, y'all. I mean, let me not complain because this was one of the better episodes this entire time that we've been dealing with this season. But y'all, come on.
I mean, I think the show sometime, well, hopefully they'll explore in episode 5 or season 5, but he's the first naturally born soup. Yes. Like they haven't even put an emphasis on that yet. And we haven't seen the extent of his power. So there's like a whole thing to explore with him. And I'll just say one more thing. I would have, going back to and we'll talk about Sage, but wouldn't it have been so cool or unique or interesting to have Sage be, instead of for sleeping with the Deep and Black Noir that went nowhere, Sage should have been talking to Ryan. Behind the scenes, closed doors, trying to whatever her secret plan is, if she does have one, they should have planned to see of her and Ryan having these little conversations. And that would explain why he maybe likes to stay at VOP, because Sage is the one that kind of treats him like an adult, or treats him like
nothing. Elliot.
Yeah, I wish they would have
nothing really here to go. You know what? Because he said, I like some of it. Him and that little
what do you like about it? Yeah.
It me off. I like some of the things there. So far, Ryan has don't you like the milkshakes that he brought you with the cherry? He has liked nothing here. I don't understand what's keeping him here. And we haven't, I don't feel like we've gotten enough of Homelander to be like, you know what? Look at all this growth Homelander is having as a father. Oh, please. That's not there either. If they weren't gonna give us this standoff, don't give us that at all. But I guess they're doing this just to show that as we know later, Ryan isn't confident in his powers yet, and he's stronger than me. I'm not, I could never take him on. Maybe we're building up for next season to have, rising up back on the street. We're gonna have Ryan, training and trying to get himself together for Homelander. Boo-hoo, poor Annie, poor me. I'm the only good one. I love this. I love all of this. Self-reflection time. When I tell you, I hope that this shape-shifting assassin is still alive. They better be, because this would be a waste of a character. And the rate that the show has been disappointing me, I don't put it past them to kill this character off. I loved every little bit of this conversation because Annie is every bit of everything that the shapeshifter had to say. And I was just waiting. I was like, Annie, if this doesn't push you out of your little, rut to, be stronger within yourself and get back to maybe that Annie that we know in your powers, I don't know what will. But I did like the, just the whole reflection. She's literally talking to herself. It's the epitome and the just the top of any self-reflection that Annie has been trying to get to this entire season. But I love the shapeshifter. And I hated that because we're supposed to be here for the boys. I was here for the shapeshifter. Ashley.
Same. I said, you better tell her about herself, because she was like, not just you, Annie, all of you guys, you think everything you do is for the right reasons. Everything bad that you've done, you feel is the result of someone else's actions towards you. Annie needed to hear this because no one else was telling her this truth at all. And I think she needed to see herself this way to kind of get some grit. But I think the thing that did it, I think the thing that gave her the sheer will to bust free of those cuffs was that I've been screwing your man. That's what I think it was. And I proposed to him and he gave me his grandma's ring. I think that's what did it. I think it was an ego thing. I think it was a jealousy thing more than her taking in all of these lessons. But yeah, she needed those truths. And I'm glad Shapeshifter gave it to her. Again, the Shapeshifter was my favorite character this season. And again, we didn't see the end of her. You know what I mean? Annie says, I pried the ring off her cold, dead fingers, but is she really? I pray not, because that was the best thing the boys did this season for me, was this Shapeshifter.
The symbolism was beautiful. Elliot?
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said, Tyra, so far. I'm excited to see what Kay says, but Ashley hit it right on the head. She or it, whatever they are, however they identify, was incredible. But more importantly, I will say, because I think the show's writing wasn't that great to me at all this season, but the performances is what kind of kept me, engaged. This allowing Erin, I can't think of her last name right now, allowing Erin to be able to play something different than what we've seen her in the 4 seasons was so fun, as like seeing an actor just having fun with the role, like seeing the complete opposite of Annie. I know that actress had such a, especially with, I don't know if you guys have been following online of like how much people have been dragging her with her, new look, as people are, making fun of her and all this stuff. I feel bad for the actress. So I'm glad that Erin was able to play with this character. And I was cracking up when she was talking, just coming at Annie about all her faults and just a little bit of the backstory of how they first did their shape shift and all that. Like, to me, so great. And I'm so with you, Tyra, and I'm sure we'll get to that scene. The Boys is a very violent show. For someone to choke someone out to death is so The Boys, which makes me think that they're still alive. So I'm hoping that we get more of the shapeshifter, because scenes like this, like I would love to see, some other MM have like a self-reflection of someone telling him about himself, or Huey or anything. I will, or Homelander again, because even Homelander had his self-reflection kind of in season 2 with the doppelganger. So I am very much a fan of this character, Shapeshifter, and even more so, I'm very glad that Erin was able to get that opportunity to kind of play the opposite of herself.
Child, all the sex and butt play we were doing with Huey, we should be able to shape shift into Huey many a days, all the time they spent together. Okay?
A good bit of the cast this season had moments of self-reflection, and it was almost like that standoff when they had to face themselves. Like, you can't run away from you. And at that point is, who are we going to be now when we have to face ourselves? Butcher had to face himself, the good part with Becca and then Negan. And at the end of the day, Butcher, we saw where he went. We saw where he leaned towards. Homelander, the same thing. Are we going to be like, do we want to be light and still take over the world? Or are we just going to be gods and take it anyway, no matter what anybody says? Yeah. And then we see what him facing himself ended up being. And so Annie really needed to face herself in this moment. And it's so funny to me that her and Kimiko, this episode, really, it took your man being threatened for y'all to just really buck up. Kimiko ain't talked the whole time, but soon as her man got ripped away, now we got vocals. And she threw away therapy. But you threatened Frenchie, and it's all that. Annie ain't care about Huey this whole time. This whole time. But now you see that a shapeshifter got him. Now you want to get upset. Now there's the emotions that we should have seen ahead of time. And then she didn't even check on Huey afterwards to let him know you did get assaulted by her, because that actually wasn't consensual. Just like, whatever was going on with Tech Knight. She still, and ain't even, you was mad that somebody else was about to take him, but she still really don't want him in the end.
Child. Mad that Huey was living his best life. Like, girl, I don't know where you at, but you can stay there. I'm gonna eat them Lunchables. Eat them lean Lunchables and sit down. I'm living my best life. She's probably rubbing my feet, cooking meals and stuff. She was going. It was a good thing. But I do love these self-reflective moments of all of our characters here, and even just the narrative that I didn't listen because it was Huey, and I don't want to hear Huey make no speech. But just that narrative of us not becoming monsters, and we don't have to stoop to their level. We need to be a little bit more human, and everybody's just kind of coming to terms with who they are. And just like that, Vicky is soup abled. Homelander, the Vault Village idiot. You're incapable of running the ish. Now look at here. Homelander brings poor Vic on to. I expect I don't know. I first of all, I hate the fact that we lost V. I really loved her character, and where we could have. I feel like that was such a poor decision. Like, why would you guys get rid of V? But I expect more from her here, and just the expectations of what did you really think Homelander was going to be about? Like when you linked up with him or whatever. Like this is classic Homelander. He's always going to be in control for good or bad. Because clearly, exposing her to the public, we didn't think about any of the after effects. Her trying to be convicted for another term at president or being impeached. None of the possibilities. Like this is just what it is. Especially with the absence of him firing Sage. But we have her exposed on TV, and this is probably the first heavy intel of him letting her know this is what it is, and it's what I say. I don't care what you think about anything now. You're exposed, and we're moving forward. Ashley?
Yeah. Again, he just doesn't think anything through. And I don't know what he thought he was going to do with just him and Firecracker, at the helm. But yeah, because Vic comes out and she's like, okay, so you did this now. So now you're going to have to get rid of half of your people. Half of the public is going to have to now be put in these internment. Like the plan is going to have to escalate extremely quickly. And he's like, yeah. I thought of that. No, you didn't, Homelander. Come on, my guy. Like it just, went to show that he's really reactionary and about the moment and what he thinks is right. You know what I mean? But not really having a clear vision for the future. I too was sad about Vic. I thought that was a bad move, bad decision. What I wanted her to do and what I wanted to see in this moment was her to reach out to her daddy, reach out to Stan Edgar and get some advice, sis, and see how he tells you to play the game. You know what I mean? Like the fact that she just took this on her own and then runs to Huey. I was like, that's who you run to? Your daddy's free. You can't call him. You can't like.
Ashley, you don't know how many times I yelled, where's Stan Edgar? Where's Stan Edgar? Where's your daddy, girl? Like I was saying, where's your daddy? Where is Stan Edgar? We kept him out for a purpose. We need him now. I thought she would be moving on her own accord, but also taking into consideration maybe some things that Stan Edgar has to say because he knows so much about Homelander. And that takes me back to I think that first episode before this one, when he fires Sage and she's like, good luck without me, though there's someone that you could never defeat. And I was like, who is it Stan? Like, who can he, never ever defeat? Like, who is she talking about? But I was waiting so heavy for Stan Edgar to pop out and he never did. Elliot.
To your point, Ty, I was right there with you. My only excuse was like he's still a felon. Like he's out. He's got out of jail, not for legal reasons. He was broken out of jail essentially, so he can't be popping up, I guess, in the public eye with that around him. But I will say, yeah, this scene was great. And as my, justice for Vic, this character is so great. Like it's so much you could explore it. Again, not to be the Debbie Downer. Scrap Frenchie, scrap Colin, even Kimiko. Like we could have just had so much more meat with Vic's character of like this being such a big moment. She's outed in front of the public, and she even says this to Huey later. I've spent my whole life of hiding my true identity, and for it to come out this way, this could have been like a huge moment for the character, and it was in a sense, but it could have been so much more impactful if we would have stopped wasting so much damn time with those unnecessary plots that we got this season. But anyway. The thing that did, and I think someone in the comments brought it up, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. When Vic, your picture that you have on the screen now, Tyra, with her changing her eyes, I interpreted it two ways. Like that was her activating herself to protect her from the blast of Homelander, or was she in that moment trying to pop his head and she couldn't do it? Like I didn't know what that moment was for that character, just showing how powerful he is that you can't even get him to even have a nosebleed, that she tried to attempt to pop his head and it just did not work at all. And that look on her face was just like, oh, I have no control at this point. Like he is more powerful than I could even imagine. So did you all think that her eye change was her just activating her powers of like a self shield? Because we know Marie also took a blast from Homelander and she didn't seem to have like any physical damage. Or did she try to zap him and it didn't work? What do y'all think in that moment?
I feel like it was a shield. And with the fear she's been giving as far as Homelander is concerned, I don't even think she tried. And I would have loved to see her try. Or just to see the effects of like, Homelander. Because she can so easily pop ahead. I think I saw the comments too. And it's like she, I don't even want to get into Homelander and his scent. Because they do away with that when it's convenient for them. But I just wanted to see the impact that would have on him because she hasn't tried to, like, and we lost her already. I think just the.
I mean, we
it's
got
just-
Marie. Marie's still out there, so we could see a head popper try to do that eventually if they bring her in.
But it was just so downplayed. Just her capability, like she was very strong, like a very strong power, popping heads and just impenetrable to a certain extent, like very strong. Like I was like, what? We're wasting V when we could have just killed so many other people off. Kay, did you think that she tried to pop Homelander's head, or was this just an act of self-defense?
Yeah, I think it was like her reflex to stop the beam.
Yeah.
Because he told her one time before when they had like a disagreement, and he was like, "What are you going to do? Try and pop my head? I'm quicker than you, and I would have snapped you before you even got to me."
Yeah.
So she knows that she can't get to him. He is quicker than her, so she might be able to try, but he's quick, he's strong, and he knows when she's around. That's why I believe that old girl from maybe Gen V would be able to do it, because he doesn't know she can do that. He doesn't know, but he knows that she can, so he has his guard up against that. And I'm just disappointed that she was not prepared for him to do this. Like, she had to have known, because he's been telling her to come out this whole time.
Yeah.
And so she should have had a plan B for if he tried to out her without her permission, and she just wasn't ready.
Ashley.
Yeah, I think she was just purely defending herself in that moment. But it is interesting though, and I wonder if it's her upbringing, because she did downplay her powers quite a bit. And I wonder if it was just, Stan's rearing of her in terms of, don't stand out, don't try to be extra. They have that conversation, I think, in the farm episode. And so I do wonder that, because we never really got to explore her powers in a real way, other than her just popping a bunch of humans' heads at that one at that one meeting. I would have loved to have seen more of Vic and what she could do. I would have loved it.
It's such a missed
She still might be alive, and I'll get to my theory a little bit later. We'll talk about it later.
All right, Illy, don't give me no hope now. don't give me no hope now. Shout out to the 85 people here in this live. We would love to have 100 in the live. Keep on engaging, sending those super chats, hitting the like button, showing us some love. We really, really, really appreciate that. Oh, give me some hope, Elliot, because this is a disservice. Pete is a really great character. Like, at least have us stick around and join up with the boys and have Huey cheat on Starlight with her. Give us some tension, give us something to work with. Not Firecracker dying. Get away from me.
This scene sent me.
I despise Homelander, but I love him at the same time, because, like, who you coughing at? Like, girl, if you don't move 3 paces down all the way to the end of this vault table with that mess, and we know why this is happening, that medication that she is on, all to provide Legion C and breast milk to the likes of Homelander. I would think that Firecracker would know enough to know. I thought at first she was just kind of making sure she had a place here to not be killed or not to just be thrown out altogether because she's useless. But all the while, deep down, Homelander doesn't give a damn about me beyond this breast milk I'm providing, or just a shoulder to lean on when it's convenient. It's almost like she is expecting Homelander to care for her. I'm like, girl, anybody that Homelander cares for dies, and you won't be far behind. And you're going to put yourself into an early grave to provide breast milk? All right. Ashley?
Silly goose. She's so funny. Firecracker is a loser, and I couldn't stand her from the beginning. And this is what she gets. I don't know why she was under any delusion that she was something special. He even denies her milk at some point, and I'm like, wow, look at that. Girl, you don't mean anything to him. So the fact that she's going to have an enlarged heart after all this, I mean, she's already weak on the power side. Like, to be in the 7, that was all Sage's decision, right? To get her there, because really, what could she do? So now I think she will be vying to become indispensable. I don't know what that's going to look like in season 5 if she lives. I mean, she may have to wean herself off the medication, because poor thing looks really bad. She looks real bad, like on her way out of here. But it tickled me. I loved that she was put in her place properly. Get all the way to the end of the table, because you're coughing on me at this point, and it's disgusting. Like, and you're nothing to me.
I knew this wasn't gonna last long. First of all, this manufactured breast milk, you ain't birthing no babies to give me no actual factual. Girl, get that manufactured stuff out of here. That ain't even from the real. That's from the,
He says cilantro. He was like, ooh, cilantro.
Yeah.
Oh, Elliot.
Yeah, no, the firecracker stuff was interesting. I think a couple things come to mind that they might have been opening the door to. That I think, Frenchie, funny enough, was the one that first saw the pills in the Ezekiel episode. So they could open this whole door where Frenchie can, I don't know, compromise the pills and test the virus on Homelander with him drink. I don't know how that will work, but there has to be something around like why Frenchie was the first one to kind of take note of that, and her breast milk angle being something that can play into season 5 potentially if she maybe is maneuvered into the boys camp. But the second of it all is, I mean, while her power set is weak as hell, she is on the not the intellectual side of Sage, but her superpower is manipulation. As she said when we first met her, like she preys on people's weaknesses. Like she's able to get this, she's influencer, and the social commentary of that, of like someone that she's doing all this, conspiracy, the government and all this stuff, but at heart she doesn't really probably believe anything that she's saying. But her villainous side allows her to, if it means that I can, I have Nazi supporting me, it's support regardless of who they are or what they are. So she does have an interesting set of skills that obviously plays to the hand of Homelander, especially with him now being the pseudo president. So I think the show is meant for us to make her think that she's like almost like a Deep, where we can just dismiss her. But I think that she's going to probably be more impactful in season 5 than what she shows us. Because like I said, she has a lot of manipulation that she offers that could work for the boys or could work for Homelander. So I thought Sage and Firecracker overall was a nice part of this season, even if Sage Plan kind of fell apart. I think they were 2 great introductions to this season.
I'm looking at this comment from Monique. When Homelander milk comes back tainted, it makes him sick. That will be the end of her.
Right.
That will be interesting, getting back into Frenchie and those pills. That might be, we don't know. The boys have done strange things. Kay, do you care about Firecracker dying?
Hell no. I was so this scene made me just happy. I laughed at this scene because he looked at her like the trailer trash that she truly is. And remember at that one party when people was brushing her to the side, and as soon as she gave Homelander that breast milk, she all of a sudden felt like, okay, I'm not a nobody anymore. Wrong. He still don't care. And knowing good and hell well, he can't get sick. He can't get the flu. He can't get COVID. But he was looking at her like, I don't want your saliva on me anyway. Not that chair. Move back a little bit further. Like you thought just because you gave me a supply. No, ma'am. Don't take that coughing and wheezing and stuff. He don't like weakness. And that was a sign of weakness on her behalf. And he looks, no, ma'am. You're beneath him still. All that coughing and stuff. It wasn't even worth it. She gonna kill over trying to give him breast milk, and he gonna walk over her dead body.
Yeah, such a reverse from when she squirted him that projectile breast milk. Is that what I think? Like, it's not, no, girl, but that's different. You coughing, get away from me. this was funny.
Like, she's just disgusting, and she all sweaty and stuff, and he just like, no, ma'am.
Oh, girl, she ain't gonna make it too much longer. Everything is gone. Could Huey be any more useless? When we saw the things get taken by the shapeshifter, and they're like, you know what, everything's been exposed. The information that you have been holding over Vic's head and things alike has been our last, line of defense. And it's just, oh, it's gone. And Mother's Milk is like, you got it on the backup, on the phone. Like, no, this was only here. It's gone. Like, I just want Huey to die. Actually, like, well, you know what? Just going on a positive note, what can we do to help Huey's character?
We can take him out. We could have had the shapeshifter take him out. That would have been amazing to see because he and MM both had tails, right, in the bunker. If she would have just unalived him right then, that would have been incredible. I know, but I don't know what will redeem his character at this point, because also, right, everything's gone. All the information that you had in a safe in the apartment that you share right? You saw the designer first. You said that was your first clue. This wasn't your second clue, Huey. And then MM is on the phone with him, literally saying, you have to watch everyone. Anyone could be the shapeshifter. And you're still like, well, it's all gone. I don't know. Yeah, Huey, just poor Stink. Bye, Huey, Aggie. And then the whole, Vic calling him. I'm like, okay, again, I'll chalk it up to their past friendship. And he cares about Zoe because, he tuned up his face as soon as she mentioned Zoe again. And so I'm like, well, but then again, you set her up to be unalive too, Huey. You can't win. Everything, you're taking L's all over the place. That's what it is with Huey right now.
Want him to be gone. There's nothing left to do with Huey besides continue to rescue him and him he's the damsel in distress at this point. I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I mean, I'm gonna just skip it because it pisses me off. It upsets me. If you want to piss me off about this show, put him and Ryan in my face at the same time.
Just push him off in therapy. Where is Huey's Me Too moment? Because nobody cares he's been assaulted. Like, it's like nobody even cares. And he's damaged. He is literally traumatized by this, and nobody even cares. He needs his own little Me Too movement. They need to go ahead and get him some therapy, and let's just put Huey to the side right now. Let's not put him through anything else. Okay, he's been through a lot. He just needs to take a break.
And not me giving Huey a new name. He's fitting Huggy. Huggies just needs to go. Huggies does. He just needs to go. He's been useless for quite some time. And it's crazy with this season. I don't remember feeling like this harsh about Huey's character prior to this, but it seems like the writers are going out of their way to make him as useless as possible. Like, I hope they do something just gorgeous with Huey. But this is not it. I'm here for this, though. I'm here for this. I don't want to leave. I kind of like it there. Broken necks and Connect 4. I'd like to leave. Now look at here. This is give me something with Ryan. Give me something. I was at least hoping we would leave here and go, to old Homelander and go, what you say about my mama and commence the powers. But we didn't do that. But this is kind of the end, not only for old Mallory down there, but for Butcher as well. He was trying to, take the time and do the right thing and finesse Ryan into the idea of joining up and she's like, oh, you guys are trying to make me a weapon just like my dad and ba-da-da-da-da. Even to the point of, against Butcher's judgment, informing him of things that Homelander has done in the past and how he was conceived. This does not, deter Ryan from wanting to leave, at which we lose old Mallory down. He loved throwing somebody against a wall, don't he? That's all we've seen Ryan do, throw humans against walls. But that didn't really surprise me. I felt that coming. He was being a little relentless. I was like, girl, if you don't push the goddamn button. It was giving rush hour. Girl, if you don't push that button, either you push it or you don't. But just the look on Ryan's face after he did it, I was like, here we go with these looks. The omen is all for you, Damien. Here we go with these faces. Either we're going to go over there, Ryan, or we're going to, join up. I didn't know if that meant, I'm going to go off because from this moment, we don't see Ryan again. And he's just, I guess, in the wind contemplating who he is and what he wants to do and what life all really means. But this is pretty much the end for Butcher and the end for everybody here in this scenario. Elliot, what did this scene do for you?
I mean, it leaves Ryan, in a question mark on if he's just gonna, because again, this is the second mother figure, obviously killed his mom, accidentally or being upset, and then he same thing. So just to me, it's just more red flags that he is embracing more of his dad's, anger and aggression and kind of carelessness of the human life. So it puts him in an interesting spot again. I would have loved to talk about what happened to him next. If again, where we're staying this whole season, Stan pulls up in a car and takes Ryan with him, would have been an interesting kind of oh, what does that mean? But yeah, I don't know where Ryan could have went. Again, my whole thing, where does he have his own personal Uber and just waiting outside, or he just flew off somewhere? But yeah, I'm hoping the next time we see Ryan, because I don't know if you guys have seen the actor. Again, these kids, Stranger Things kids, they grow. I forgot how quickly kids grow because it's been so long since I've been a teenager. But he looks like he could be an 18-year-old. So I hope next time we see him that they keep the same actor, but we see him aged up and we see him on the run and just doing his own thing, not necessarily being on the good side or the bad side, but being on his own side. And what that can mean is very interesting. So I like where they kind of put Ryan or leave him up. RIP to Mallory. I thought, and again, emotionally speaking, that was a nice moment of her just like finally saying to him, like, you were essentially my grandson. I lost my kids to lamplighter, all those years ago, and you have been like her string of humanity for the longest time. So I like that for Mallory. And again, going back to Ryan's storyline of him killing another mom figure, it has to do something to him mentally. And then, like I said earlier, with Homelander, that's when he died. That was his last string of hope of humanity. Last week, it was when he saw Ryan do the thing on the Christmas program. He said to Joe, he's the reason why I'm human. And now he sees what Joe's been saying this whole time of like, well, what happens when he snaps? And he literally saw that with him snapping her neck. So this is a really interesting setup. And, I think, in my mind, I've been hyping up the Homelander versus Ryan, but honestly, Homelander or Ryan versus Butcher, what does that look like? That's an interesting pairing of conflict, because if Butcher said, F it, I'm just going to fully lean into my evilness, that means that Ryan's on his hit list of, going back to you killed Becca, because that's literally what he did, regardless of how young he was. He killed the love of his life. So I like that set up the Ryan and Homelander and Butcher in the mix is going to be something that's going to be very, very interesting.
It is. And unlike before, when he's pushed humans into walls, he didn't show any emotion here. He just looked at Mallory like it felt really robotic, and it was really giving Homelander in that he's having just the killing of the mother figures. And the parallels are hitting so heavy with Homelander, but with how
what's that Superman kid movie that
Brightburn.
Brightburn. Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting on him to Brightburn for so many episodes now, and he hasn't. So I'm thinking it'll be interesting to see a villain-esque arc with him, but it's just also like, how are you going to link up with Homelander or be whatever team anything if he did that? I think we're going to just get into Ryan being his own individual thing and making his own decisions, but they could have helped us along the way and gave us some breadcrumbs, because we've done nothing with Ryan. Ashley?
Yeah, I'm here for Renegade Ryan. I hope he goes to Godolkin or whatever. I hope he learns what he needs to, and he does his own retribution tour. And I think it's him versus everybody else when we discover the fullness of his powers, right? Because he's kind of, I guess, at this point, a one of one. As far as Grace, she had it coming, girl, because get out the way. When you told me I want to go, I need to leave, I'm gonna just let him go. I think we're taking for granted that everyone in Ryan's life just wants to control him. No one has really just loved him in an altruistic way. Like, I want to love you just because you're you. Everyone has a motive. Everyone has a reason. And so, unloading all of that on him, even Butcher is like, hey, Grace, don't just stop. Like, don't let him find out this way. He did need to know the truth, but I mean, Grace, girl, if you didn't push that button, you talking, you saying all these threats. I'm gonna get us. We're gonna go to sleep for a while. Really don't want to do it, but I'll do it, girl. You got. It
wasn't until this moment that I forgot that Ashley had a soft spot for Ryan. I had forgot politely, like, no.
Because he's a little boy. He's a little boy at this point who lost his mother. Well, I mean, he thought he was defending his mom in the moment. And he hasn't really experienced love since then. So I get Ryan. I want more for him. I think it's a great villain origin story, and I hope we get to see the fullness of it. I kind of hope he becomes a monster, but for his own will. That's what I want.
He's a boy, and I give him a little leeway for that, but you're also a weapon of mass destruction. You got to get locked down, sir. Okay? Gotta think about us human folks.
He just needs one good friend is all. He just needs
Zoe.
That's what I thought they were actually going to do, but they just literally threw that away. But yeah,
exactly. I would have loved to see him and hang, or even the college kids, like take him on and like, let him be like, mentors to him, or big brother, big sister to him. Let him hang around, but nothing. He literally is just kind of like flapping in the breeze here, and they keep poking at him, knowing his powers are unstable. He don't even know how powerful he is at this point, and everybody is looking to see how can we use his power for our benefit, but never asking him what does he want to do without trying to manipulate him. And so they're building a weapon on everybody's own doing. And so if he decides to turn into Brightburn, then oh well, burn it down, Ryan.
I would love that. I've been waiting on that so hard, but they haven't did it yet. Like, yes, fly your mama up into the sky and kill her off. Yeah, shoot your
And I'll
dad.
say this: he got Homelander got some questions coming his way because he just found out what happened to his mom. So
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see that conversation.
I thought we were going to at least see Ryan one more time confront or have just a little bit like we're not asking for just a massive standoff because he's not in his powers yet. But I just knew that no, we just don't see Ryan. I was like, oh, y'all really don't want me to root for Ryan, do you? I want to so bad. Vault's hit list: Ashley's monstrous fate. Now we have everybody running around, and hey, we got to tie up loose ends at this point. Anybody in this building that could know any information on any of us, they have to go today. And the hater, the Deep, who's never liked Ashley because Ashley was being Ashley and trying to be Ashley on who she could be. The Deep. And he puts her at the tippy top of the list. A nervous Ashley runs off and injects herself with some Compound V, and we see a transformation commence, and we cut away, and we don't see her anymore. We do have Homelander and Sage end up conversating in that apartment yet again, so we know that she's out somewhere. But what did she turn into? Kay, what happened to Ashley?
I hope she turned into one of them creature things. What is with the? Is there like a variant of the Compound V? Because now everybody ain't getting regular powers. Everybody is turning into a Resident Evil creature. Like it's the T virus at this point. These aren't even superpowers. They're turning into like literal monsters and creatures. But good, Ashley. She needs to turn into something that can defend herself. And good for her for hauling ass. All it took was for the Deep to say her name. And she said, I'm out of here. Deuces. Let me go do what I got to do. That was smart of her to actually stole away some Compound V just in case somebody tried to try her up. I hope she turns into something that can defend herself. Now, it might not be pretty. Might not be nothing to look at. But at least she can defend herself at this point.
Ashley's already been through so much. What I thought she was doing was like getting some just in case Compound V, and she was finna disappear like she's been needing to do with whoever forever. It's like, no, I'm going to inject myself right here, right now, not knowing what she could possibly turn into. With this show and it being Ashley, it's going to be something disgusting. It just has to be. Ashley? How do you feel about Ashley?
Alien Nation. Like, I'm totally here for it. I wanted to see the end result. I wanted to see the monster. Yeah, and I don't know which one I don't think she took that temp V. I think she took the real V, right?
Yeah.
That they give to the baby. So I don't think adults are supposed to take that kind. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked it. Okay, girl, get a couple vials and run. But she didn't stand a chance. Nora was taking out all the Ashleys. No Ashley left behind because he wasn't looking at the last name. And Ashley number 2 went out so bad, y'all. I hated that for her. Like, bruh, come on, Noir. Like,
him and the Deep make just a horrible duo. Like, y'all was just not on the same page at all. Just out here being reckless, like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and Deep took this moment to try to have a brain. Like, you can't string a sentence together, Deep, and Ashley knows everything about us, really. But Ashley's a survivor. She's thinking on her feet. I hope she comes and joins the boys if she's
that's what I'm hoping.
If she's viable.
That's what I'm hoping. Because I hope she doesn't take this and go, she loves to have look how useful I can be, Homelander. These are my new powers. Like, I hope this is your opportunity. Even if it's monstrous, you can leave. I will say that she made me make sure I secure my wig on extra tight because it ain't just supposed to fall off like that. Elliot, how do you feel about Ashley?
Yeah, no, I had when I talked about it on my breakdown, I said maybe we'll see her like Megamind, next time we see her, or from a Marvel fans looking like the leader that we'll see in Captain America next year. But I think I talked about it when Huey Sr. took the Compound V, and I kind of thought when we saw his powers manifest, it was like when he said to Daphne, "You see right through me," and it manifested his powers of going through walls. So we know that Ashley's very intuitive, has survived, smart enough to survive to this point. So I'm thinking that she might be if we are assuming that she'll join A Train or the boys, she'll be like their version of Sage, and she'll have all the smarts. Like she'll be the second smartest person in the world. It might not look pretty, but she'll be someone that's like so intelligent, whatever, because there's a reason they had to show like her head. Like it could have been any part. So like to me, it just assuming that her brain's going to be like on another level, that no one has ever seen before. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what that means for Ashley moving forward, having powers. It seems like even if your powers suck, it seems like on a basic level, she's going to have super strength at least on that level. She's like even Firecracker had super strength because she was able to fight Kamiko. So like at least she's going to be able to fight against herself from a physical standpoint. But I think her brain is going to be expanded. She's going to be very smart and do some things. And I'm excited to see that because she has been someone, man, she's been here since day one as an assistant to the CEO to now whatever we see her next. I'm really excited to see Ashley, the second version of her.
I went left Elliot with her continuing to go, this place is ruining all of us. It's creating monsters. I was like, she's speaking it into fruition, girl.
Yeah,
I thought she was just going to be the most monstrous looking, like, I'm hoping it's like, give Ashley a little leeway. Hopefully it's something she can morph into and morph back. Don't leave her this gooey, disgusting creature ongoing into the next season. Oh, Lord. But I think it's going to be interesting to see her reveal and what happens. Like,
yeah,
we'll see. First person she's taking out is the Deep, because why you write my name on that paper?
we might see her in season 2 of Gen V, because she was the one main character besides Homelander that crossed over. So we might see what she looks like in season 2 of Gen V, whatever that form might be. So maybe sooner rather than later.
Took you long enough, Huey. Annie to the rescue per usual. Annie's the shifter. I was like, oh, can you please? Now we have them go. We trying to do our best to protect the what is his name? Negan, Bryant Singer, Mr. Singer. We trying to protect him from the shapeshifter coming, and of course we know the shapeshifter is in the vault with everybody. We have him, finally get it. And it's like, oh, she said it was a furnace, just like, even though he had all of these collective thoughts of this not being Annie, it wasn't until this moment that Huey had the epiphany. And we see the shifter do their thing and wreck shop on everybody, just be really, really hella strong. Of course, we, in the end, have Annie get herself free and come through with the save, because who's going to save Huey if it's not Annie? It's always going to be her. But we conveniently have her choke this shifter out. I was like, all right. All right. I was waiting like for it to be like, oh, you turn around and the shifter's gone. Like I killed him. And then it's like, no, we didn't have, a fake out moment of if or maybe is the shapeshifter still alive. But with how strong this shapeshifter is and how like breeze through Kamiko, like, because Annie's not even in her full capacity of powers at this point. She's still strong, but she's just not that. And if we could take Kamiko out like that, a room full of people, I'm like, it still has to be alive. And if it is, that would make my whole day. Kay, I'm going to come to you first. How did you feel about the epiphany finally in the shapeshifter doing her thing, as well as Annie coming through to save Huey and the boys?
I'm really upset that she was like going in on Huey, because Huey is simple at this point. Huey should have figured it out, but at this point we know Huey is simple. And now we have in this Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor moment where it's like, you should have known it was me, and I can't believe you did that, and I can't even believe, but I can't really either, because she was a whole lot more passionate than you were. But Huey is simple, okay? She looked like you and she had your mind. Give him some leeway. And can you at least apologize to him and say, I'm here for you, I support you, because he has been violated by a shapeshifter. He don't even know what the shapeshifter really looked like outside of the shifting. He don't know what he truly even slept with at that point. And there's no sensitivity towards Huey at all. And now we're back to regular Annie playing Huey to the side. Like, I just feel bad for him.
Child, the way they're going in these comments down here, I really feel like the shifter played dead. Elliot, how did you feel about this?
Yeah, no, again, going back to this, just seeing the actors being able to play, because we never seen Annie be this, aggressive in her kills. So it was cool to see that side of her. But yeah, my whole thinking that she may, or the shapeshifter may still be alive, to your point, Tyra, is I mean, as you see in this photo, she was shot, I don't know how many times. I lost count. So she can't be killed with bullets, but someone can choke her out. That that doesn't even out on a logical standpoint. So in my mind, and also, I don't know if this was intentionally done, but if you remember when Singer is being arrested, they showed the footage of when we saw the shapeshifter in the room saying, we got to take her out. So I'm like, either the shapeshifter sent that video to Sage or sent it to the Seven when she was in the kitchen getting water or whatever, or she sent them that video when they woke up being unconscious or woke up pretending to be dead. So I still think there's a hope that they're still alive. Possibly, because it's a very interesting character moving forward. And I see some people going in the comments about like how was Starlight able to like fight her. Like I said, on a bare minimum, basic level of Supes, they all have like super strength. That has been known throughout the show. So even though Annie couldn't use her Starlight power, she still can fight her physically on that level. And it might even going back to the shapeshifter with them adapting the powers of like, if you're looking at them like as a Rogue or a Mystique, eventually we know that their powers kind of, she was draining her powers were at a lower point, the shapeshifter, because she was, hot and all that stuff. So I think on a power skill level, even though Annie didn't have her light powers, I think she was still strong in the shapeshifter because she was at a point where she couldn't recharge at that point. So yeah, anyway, long story short, I think shapeshifter may still be alive. And I will hope that they'll still be alive, or we get like another version of them somewhere out there that can continue what they gave us in this one episode.
Oh, please be alive, please.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, unless I hear a snap, crackle, pop, like I don't believe it. And I didn't hear any of that. Also, I'm kind of inclined to wonder if she'd be like Kamiko, right? Who can be unalived for a moment and then come back. Maybe, her refractory period is shorter. But again, the shapeshifter is my favorite thing in this episode, in the past 2 episodes, really. So I'm here for that. The conversation with Annie and Huey, needless. Again, I do not care, girl. Like, you're not that upset. You're not jealous because you don't like him. And Huey, you're not upset because you don't like her. And the whole shapeshifter syphilis, like, come on, girl. Like, Annie, you're not even screwing him. So what difference does it make if he contracted something from this woman? Like, move on. And Singer, he just likes to talk. we didn't really get to know Singer that much. You know what I mean? I guess they felt like we didn't need to.
He did. He served his purpose to get that intel so he can be outed later to get Homelander and, get push the narrative along. But yeah, him and his honorary attitude and what we're trying to protect you. Shut up. That vault door opening slow as hell. That sent me. That's really funny. But Vicky wants refuge. I was like, girl, it's too late. It's too late. First of all, I was like, it's too late, but this really got me excited when she was like, got to protect me as well as my daughter. You can trust me because I'm entrusting Zoe to you. The thought, the mere thought of V joining up with the boys, regardless of everything they've been through. I love the conversation here of who's, there to be judged, everything that you've done to me. Well, yeah, at the same time, you guys have kidnapped Samir, made him make some more of that virus to kill me, and you took his leg. So, I'm asking you to help me the same way you can. I got really, really excited at the aspect of seeing V in that capacity and the asset that she could be to the boys, that friction, that good friction that we used to get between even though it's still there, between Starlight and Butcher. And it's just like, I just despise you, but we're working. I was so here for this, and they snatched it away so damn fast. Elliot, I'm going to come to you first. What was the first thing that popped into your head when I don't think anybody was surprised at the fact that Homelander threatened her with the likes of Zoe and I'll send you a piece of her. It's, my way or the highway, and her reaching out for Huey for refuge. Like, what did you think was about to happen at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, to that point, yeah, it wasn't her getting outed and on national television. It was when Homelander said, I'm going to kill your daughter, or I'm going to torture your daughter. That was her, come to Jesus moment that I'm in too deep. I need to find a way out. But unfortunately, it was too late for her, potentially. But yeah, I thought it was, again, going back to the whole Stan Edgar of it all, like you would have thought that maybe Stan would be the first person to kind of call wherever he is, because obviously Homelander and the Seven haven't been able to find him. So I would think that, and maybe that's, I don't know. We don't even know where Zoe was. Where was she hidden? We don't even know where he picked her up at. Maybe it was where Ryan is. Maybe she was hiding Ryan's Uber back of his car. But yeah, no, it was a little bit unfortunately too little, too late for Vic at this point. And I hate to bring up the the lack of the storylines again with Vic, but if we would have spent more time with Vic, we could have had more time with her being a mom. Because honestly, we've probably seen her be a mom to Zoe, like as far as scenes, like 4 scenes between season 3 and 4. And we never really explored like the Zoe mom conversation of her turning her into a soup. Like there was so much that could have been explored. Now, hopefully, I'm hoping that the writers are like, yeah, we might have dropped them because again, going back to the comic book characters, Vic in the comics is a guy, and the character that they play is almost like the singer of the show. Like they didn't really get much of anything, so they did give Vic a lot more to do in the show. But again, from a narrative and a character development, we could have had so much more to explore. So I'm hoping that they're going to take all the shortcomings of what they could have gave with Vic and going back to the Ryan conversation. Maybe Zoe can be a Vic 2.0, and we get to see the new generation of the Ryan, Zoe, and again, the kids from Gen V, and they kind of maybe can prolong or improve some of the shortcomings from their kind of pseudo characters. Like take Marie, take Zoe, and they're like a combination of what Vic could have been, narratively speaking. So yeah, I'm hopeful that we get a continuation from that moving forward. But yeah, I was just like, come on, this is a little too late, Vic. You should have made this call weeks ago. But yeah. And where's Samir? Like, where is he at?
Samir's
his legs. He's at the hospital, right?
That's my question in the end. I think that Samir has to be with Stan Edgar. And I think we're going to have to embark on them kind of trying to either avenge Vic and also find or, get Zoe or just Zoe whatever.
Out of the Red Room. Yeah,
they have to be together. There's nowhere else for him and his one leg to go. Ashley, were you here for V reaching out, or did you feel like it's too little too late?
I mean, I too thought it would have been cool for her to have an allegiance with the boys, but in practicality, I still didn't understand how she felt like they'd be able to protect Zoe from Homelander. Like I still didn't quite grasp that fully, because for all of this time, you've been in such deep fear of Homelander that you've been bending to his will, but now that he makes that official threat, you try to go to the boys, and you've seen them F everything up from literally the first episode of this season, right?
Yeah, she called them out.
They have all of these failed attempts even to take you out, Vic, and you're now trusting them with the life of your daughter. Huey's Captain F up. I didn't quite buy it, but I like the idea of it,
I just wanted to see it, Ashley. Just even if it was on a little, I just wanted to see it. I just want to see her pop a couple of heads, and the boys would be like, we forgot how powerful you are when you're a really strong asset. I don't care how many times we've been enemies that try to take each other out. You are a freaking asset to the boys. Like nobody else has been able to be like, I wanted to see it happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have went there first. It's too late. Don't try to, get your ducks in a row at the last minute now that you've been outed, and you go to the people that you really don't care for to seek refuge. No, it don't work like that. You should have had a plan B. You should have never let Homelander get 2 steps ahead of you. Like, what were you thinking? So no, I don't feel sorry for her because she should have been smarter than that.
Homelander's always been a little slow. Like I don't understand how this happened. Like V is a very smart woman to even get to this position.
Can I throw a wild theory at y'all? Just a wild one. Just I'm taking some compound V and my brain's percolating. What if in season 5, before she called Huey, she called Sage, and Sage told Vic, "Hey, my inside. Again, if we're assuming that the the shapeshifter's still alive, I'm gonna swap you out with my shapeshifter." And we didn't see Vic die. We saw the shapeshifter die. We didn't see Vic call Huey. This is actually the shapeshifter doing all this, and we're gonna see that Vic is somewhere with maybe in Sage's. If we're assuming that Sage has another grander plan to go against Homelander, phase 2 or phase 3, whatever the case may be, could that be a way of keeping her alive if she did call Sage? Because she did say a couple times, "Where's Sage? Where's Sage?" So
Elliot, I'm not about to play with you. Elliot trying to write this show, y'all.
just saying, you know,
Trying to write this show. That would be
I have
really
a different theory for Sage that I'll save when we get to her. But I have a because see, I was approaching the situation all wrong. So I have a new theory about Sage now.
That would be interesting, Elliot. Like, because it makes no sense to lose V. Like, does she have a prior engagement? She got some shows or some movies coming up we don't know about. Like, why kill her off? And that would be a good way to, another alternative to try to infiltrate the boys that goes astray because we weren't expecting Butcher to come in with those tentacles. I would love that. Please say V. Say V at all costs. Hashtag say V. I don't care how you got to write it in. Elliot said she was swapped out. Make that happen as soon as you can. Ashley.
I mean, that would be awesome. That means the shapeshifter's working overtime because the shapeshifter accomplishes her missions most of the time. We've seen her, So, I mean, I'd absolutely be here for that. I'm here for the outlandish things. So if we get Vic back, I'm down. I'd be here for that. It'd be exciting.
Please give us Vic back. Please. Please. I'm gonna come back to Kay because Kay says she got a whole nother narrative going on. But do you think that could possibly happen with V? Like, do you think she could still be here? And that was maybe the shapeshifter that got ripped apart?
I think maybe she would still be here if she can regenerate. Because she was kind of indestructible. So I'm not sure if she can come back to get, because Deadpool got pulled apart at one time and he kind of got it back together. So do we even know the extent of her power? She is like a bloodbender.
Yeah,
she's a bloodbender. Yeah. So shouldn't she be able to produce enough to kind of like mend herself? Do we even know?
I'm really liking Elliot's theory because in that moment that we'll get to when she's pulled apart, I was like, with how indestructible V has been this entire time, she got pulled apart pretty damn easy. Like, those tentacles must be pretty strong. I just expected more fight, but it would make sense if it was just the shapeshifter and they got pulled apart. Like, yeah, Elliot, you better write the show. I love it. I love it. There's no one better than you. We have them. Don't roll your eyes, Ashley. Don't roll your eyes. We have, what we would have maybe wanted, episode 1. I really thought it was so lazy to have Kimiko go like, oh, you remember when I said to go after Colin and live your best life and I was okay? I lied. I just thought you deserved someone better than me. Like, because, Frenchie's so damn special. It's just like, no, there's no one better than you. And we have them finally embrace and hopefully embark on, which we know they're not, a relationship after all this time. Ashley, I'm gonna come to you first because I like your face.
Yeah, no, to me it gave very much disingenuous. You cared nothing for her. You left her for dead when you turned yourself into the police, sir. You don't care anything about this woman, and it's just, I don't know. It's like, give it to us when we care about it. Like, at this point, I could freaking care less. I didn't want to see them kiss. I didn't have any investment, even in their friendship at this point. You know what I mean? It was just, that's just not, I don't think how friends treat friends. It wasn't believable. It didn't land. It didn't penetrate my heart. Like, I could care literally less than anything for this. Like, it was a throwaway scene. I think they were just like, oh, the people have been wanting this. Let us give them a kiss or whatever. Yeah, no. It was dumb. I don't care. No.
Kay, were you here for the French kiss a little bit?
I love this for Kimiko. I honestly don't. Frenchie done got me upset because, see, this is what should have taken place this season at the start because they were so close last season. So this is what we expected to see henceforward. And he took a U-turn to mess with somebody he shouldn't have no business messing with because you annihilated his whole family. And Kimiko, she's been here the whole time. So I love that for her because I feel like she deserves love too. I feel like she deserves somebody who cares. She's been really invested in Frenchie. And I wanted to see a softer side of her. So I love this for Kimiko. But Frenchie, you can kick rocks.
I don't even love it for Kimiko. Okay, we snatched it right back. It instantly meant nothing. We already felt like it meant nothing, and it's too little, too late. But the fact that we didn't even have 5 minutes of embarking on it, it's just like, throw this away. Elliot, did you care about this kiss?
Not at all. This almost felt like, and I don't even know if we get live television like back in the day in the 90s, like Fresh Prince and Martin filmed in front of like a live audience. it almost felt like the writers were reading the comments and getting a vibe of like no one is really vibing with Frenchie and Kimiko in the season, so they rewrote to be able to bring them into this storyline. But obviously, this was shot a year ago, and the storylines have been submitted a while ago.
We could have had this and them come together. They could have reworked this and reshot this. They could have. We could have had that same.
The writers in the writer room thought that we were gonna listen. To be fair, I've been so entrenched in the boys' world the last 8 weeks. There is a side of the fandom that loves, and I think we all love Kimiko and Frenchie, but there's like a side of them that ship them. So I think this is the writers being like, "Oh, you guys are happy," because what this scene did was, even though it was like it should have happened this like episode 1. Forget the whole Colin thing. Like Colin, if they wanted to do the Colin could have been the firecracker to Frenchie, and Colin could have like did some dirt and find out that he killed his dad and his parents and all that, and him being the one that forces Frenchie to confront his past. But of course, they didn't do that. But all this scene did was to make us feel bad for what happens at the end, which it tugged at the heartstrings because of not from Frenchie, but from Kimiko. Like when she screamed, which we'll talk about, that actually got to me because that was her moment to finally speak, and it was for him, which is kind of wasted at this point. So, but
I love the end, but the way that he's treated Kimiko since the season started, it wasn't just like a awe moment. It was more like, get out of here, Frenchie. It's too late. We're not feeling in love. You're all welcome. I've been waiting all season for him to say that. I've been waiting all season for that. Vicky is no more and Butcher is unleashed. This was great. First of all the grays left. He is really rejuvenated in a whole different person. Not only do we look revitalized, but we look younger. We look active. He got a little Beijing on. them tentacles, bursted up out of that chest. And it's like, I'm beyond hearing any endearing words from the likes of you, Huey, to pull at my heartstrings to make me care anything about this situation or anything about me. I'm going to rip her apart right here in your face. As soon as they thought they had a moment of refuge, it was over instantly as soon as she got there. Rips her to shreds, throws Zoe to the side, and you even have, the group looking and Frenchie attempting to, I will shoot you up with this. But this is still Butcher. I could never, kill Butcher. And he takes that virus and literally walks out the door. This is trouble. Ashley, what's happening?
I loved it. Listen, he was back and fine. I said, go on, Butcher. Like, listen. And I like that there's no hesitation. There was no pause. There was no anything. He's like, no deals. Boom. And it was over. I was like, oh, this is the boys that I had come to know and love and understand, right? And so to kind of see that was refreshing. Although I didn't want to see Vic go out, I think we needed it for the seed. Like we needed this. The look and the blood on Huey's face. This face is Huey's every single season at some point, right? I loved it. It was a nod to all those earlier things. But even in this moment, we know that this is no longer Butcher. Butcher has left the building. This is completely Kessler, right? And the fact that I think he was going to take out Zoe as well. I was like, if it's a double one, if it's a mother and daughter, I won't be able to handle this. So I'm glad he took the virus and left. But I loved this scene. This was probably my favorite scene of the episode, of the season, really. It's probably my favorite.
It just made me shook as far as Butcher's capabilities. I'm like, if this really is the way he ripped her so easily, like it was nothing, them tentacles are something to be afraid of. Elliot?
Yeah, he's the big bad. Who's the villain of this season? Obviously, there's the obvious Homelander, your Sage, the all the stuff, but it was Butcher the whole time. And I'll give Huey a little bit of credit this episode. I wish it was from another character like MM, but it literally comes to fruition. You can't defeat evil with evil, and they literally been working with a monster this whole time, which is Butcher, unfortunately. So this is huge. This is huge ramifications because, to your point, like if this is, and just going along with that was Vic, that just shows you, it goes back to like the a simple writing thing of like, how do you show someone's badder than the baddest of the bad? It's a la Infinity War. You take out Thanos, beats the Hulk in 2 seconds just to show you how powerful they are. So Butcher literally grabbing this, who we thought, from episode 1, throwing the acid on her. She's indestructible. We can't beat her, to showing you Butcher literally can, break her like a twig. So it opens up a huge door to seeing what those tentacles can do to someone like a Homelander, Ryan, so on, a Soldier Boy, whoever the case may be. So this is huge. This is really, really huge. And like I said, it does open the door for him to be the big bad, essentially. But there is a little bit of hope because if he was really the big bad, he would have killed everyone in the room. Like, why keep the boys alive? Like, they're obviously going to try to stop you from doing your mission because they have a little bit of humanity in them. So there is still a little bit of good in Butcher because he would have, like I said, just killed every single one of the characters in that room. So that is interesting. And it also makes me wonder, because I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I kind of feel like he was wasted because he was a hallucination. It really wasn't a real person in those scenes. So I'm really curious to know, like, if he comes back next season, if it is like, again, if we're going to see the good and a good and bad side of him, next season, if they can bring Joe back. But yeah, this isn't good news for the boys to see Butcher fully gone. But like I said, I think there's a little bit of humanity in there somewhere.
I thought so when he didn't kill. Okay, I ran it back twice. I was like, he didn't kill Zoe. Okay, it still was something in there. He didn't kill the baby. I knew he wasn't gonna hurt the boys, but if we came in there and did a mother-daughter combo, I was like, oh, there's no coming back. He killed the baby. I'm looking at this comment. It says, why didn't she pop his head? It was either that's
so quick. Yeah.
It was either it happened quick or we don't have that capability because we're not actually V. Going back to Elliot's theory. Come on, Elliot, go on and write this show real quick. Okay? Were you here for Butcher and these tentacles popping out?
Absolutely. This is what I was waiting on the whole time. I was waiting on him to come out. Billy Butcher has officially earned his name, okay? I need you to be butchering people all next season. I need you to go in. I don't even care who it is at this point. Because at this point, if you feel, you know what, Billy, if you feel like they should die, I'm gonna be on your side at this point. Maybe everything must go, because I'm over it too. At this point, we've been playing around too long, and everybody can get it right now. Everybody can get it. Sorry, Vic, you had to go. Now, if it really was Vic, I think her guard was let down because they've never been able to attack her successfully before. So she's never had a reason to try and pop their heads because they've never been able to get to her. So him coming in there with tentacles, who knew that was about to happen? Even none of the boys knew that was about to happen. They're looking at him like, what the hell is this?
Right.
And why you ain't say nothing? And at this point, Butcher don't care. He's like, y'all playing too many games. It's time to just start knocking people off because I'm tired. I'm tired of the BS. Me too, Butcher. Me too.
Oh Lord, he's tough to kill everybody. I did. I'm loving. It's like when this happened, I was like, oh V. Then I was like, oh, it's starting. We're here. We're finally here. Speaking of being here, this was all a part of my plan. Moo ha ha ha. Pledging allegiance to Homelander. Now we have Sage come in the exact same clothes. The exact same clothes that I don't know if this is her. This is her regular, like whatever. But she comes in and turns on the news, and we see what's happening to who could have been him being the president. That's no more. We have this guy, I forget his name, but we have all that intel on him with the doppelganger and information that he wouldn't want to be let out, that Homelander knows. Just like, what, hey, with everything happening, not only do I want to put this 25th Amendment into rotation, but I need to speak to Homelander to pledge my allegiance. And Homelander's just like, but I told you to go away. I dismissed you. I disrespected you. I did. Yeah. It's all a part of my plan. Like, I knew you would do this, and I counter-reacted with this. Next time, you should listen to me. But why? Why are you here? Why would you stay? Because I wanted to see if I could. I was like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? I'm not liking it. I expected so much more payoff with Sage. I thought it was just going to be some really big revelation. Maybe they're saving that for the next season and getting into plan 2 or the part 2 of her big plan. But it's not looking good right now. Kay, you said you got some theories on Sage. What you got?
I had to really think long and hard about this because she's actually really been telling us who she was. We just didn't want to see it because we all hate Homelander. So we just assumed that she was going to be a part of the takedown. But she told us that she does not like the government either, because of she tried to tell them before something and they didn't listen to her. So she has the same disdain for the government as him. Her plan may have not come to fruition the way we thought it was going to be, but it was the way she planned it, because this whole time she's been moving pieces so that Homelander could get to the top spot. And she's aligned herself with the most powerful person on the planet. And he now knows that she helped him get there more than anybody, because moving these pieces around, it may not have looked like how we thought it was going to look, because personally, I thought she was going to be like Old Boy on Limitless and have a whole nother agenda set aside. Her true plan is to take down the government as well. She don't give a damn about these people at all. So she's exactly where she meant to be this whole time. We just had better high hopes for her, but no, she trash. She more trash than A-Train was.
Okay, I don't get that, because if that's the plan and you're aligning yourself with the most powerful, you could be the most powerful. Like, you have to put. There are ways around. Oh, nobody listens to me. The government didn't take me serious as the smartest person, as a Black woman. There were ways around that to get to wherever she's trying to be without using the likes of an idiot like Homelander.
But maybe she tried it the right way. She tried to go about it in the fashion that we would have hoped. And because she was Black, they played her to the left. So apparently the only way she's going to be taken seriously is if she's standing next to this guy and being the brains for this guy.
I don't think it's about taking her serious. I think she's crazy, and it's just like,
she's just crazy.
I think it's today we're taking over the world, Pinky. Like, I thought I could do that, and I did that. Like, let's see what else I can do.
Definitely crazy. She doesn't.
Crazy.
She doesn't trust the government.
I don't know.
It's two sociopaths together. Like, we had high hopes for her, but she's just as crazy as he is, and she's aligned herself with one of the highest ranked, craziest people. She's
even a line, Kay, Homelander would never have any allegiance to a single soul. She could help him get to wherever, and the minute that you're whatever, he will dispose of you like he's done everybody else. Like, that's just, I need more of her plan, Ashley.
Yeah, no, this disturbed me and disgusted me. And I'm going to keep this as politically correct and as cute as I possibly can. However, I feel like this is the reason why we need representation in production, in direction, in writing, because I don't know if they understood the nuance and complexity of writing a character like this. Like, I love the idea of Sage in theory, the smartest person in the world being a Black woman, but to have her her entire storyline centered around her proximity to
whiteness.
Okay. And the idea that he can throw you away like trash in one moment, but I'm still going to accomplish this mission because I want to serve him, really, or saying, oh yeah, no, this was my whole plan all the time. And thank you. Thank you for throwing me away like garbage and doing everything I knew you were going to do. So that I could feel accomplished by now your approval. It didn't sit well in my spirit. I don't like it. I don't know if they thought this all the way through. Yeah. And I don't even know if I care to see what she's going to do next season. Right. I hate that I feel like now I'm alienated from her character, because at this point I'm just
after this I have no hopes for her turning over to the good side. She's not going to come over to the boys because she doesn't believe in their same mission.
I just can't with the like you said, her mission and what the optics of how this looks. It's just
crazy as hell.
It's just really unappealing, and I hate that it's exactly what we thought we didn't want it to be when we talked about her episode 1 and 2. Elliot?
Yeah, but I remember when we first got on here, and I was like giving them the benefit of the doubt, like there's something, they're gonna give us something, but no, it's unfortunately this kind of shows one of the weaker elements from the writers' room this season, because it's a very hard thing to give us the excuse of like why the smartest person in the world hasn't been able to, as she alluded to, cure cancer in property. There's so many things she could have ended with her intelligence if she is quote unquote the smartest person in the world. So yeah, that unfortunately, and I'm not trying to put all the blame on the writers, but I feel like this is one of those Hollywood check mark things of like, we'll be very progressive of us, Amazon, if we wrote the smartest person in the world is a black person. It's a black woman even more. So we're going to get some brownie points, but there's no nuance or no, again, I hate to give them the open door of like, well, there is one more season and it could revert and we'll be like, oh, but to me, it is poorly handled because if you really, and I'll probably rewatch the season for this exercise, but just thinking off top, if you go back and really think about if this was all her plan, there's a lot of circumstances that had to go. It's almost remind me of like Lex Luthor and BVS. Like someone had to do this, to do that, to do that. Someone had to die accidentally for all this to happen. And it doesn't add up. And again, I'll rewatch just to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle, but like, oh, I gave A-Train enough for him, just enough for it's like, there's so many things that would have had to work her way. That doesn't make sense to me. So we'll see what comes of season 5. We still haven't explored the backstory between her and A-Train. Does she have family out there? Like, what's her origin story? To like, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Like, why did her parents give her Gen V or give her V? And like, where are they at this point? So we'll see. We'll see if they'll go back into the writer's room and really give us something to be like, oh, maybe it gave them the benefit. We'll see. We'll see. But right now, it's not looking good. It is not looking good at all.
Because this whole picture, for like 2 seconds, I thought Homelander was going to say, or she was going to say, like, thank you for pulling me up by my bootstrap type situation. And I shouldn't be feeling like that watching the show.
Yeah. I can't remember. Was there a line about her race in the show, her gender and her race? Was that ever brought up at all? Like the
aside, I think aside about her grandma, the story about her grandmother and being sick. And when they had that whole diversity thing going on.
And she's talking to Vic. They have a conversation, right, about being women and one has to cut the throat and one has to get and I was like, okay, so
I'm almost like, is she trying to get the country in such a terrible disarray? And it's just like, only me, I, the smartest woman, person, whatever in the world can save you from this. Now everybody has to bow and listen to me. Like, is that your plan? Like, what is your plan?
Yeah, I mean, what you just said, Ashley, goes back to me thinking that Vic might still be alive because we never saw that team up between those two as far as like them agreeing upon each other. We only got that like goofy glance when Vic was in the room and she spoke up and I'll take it over, but we didn't really see that coming to fruition. So we'll see, guys. We'll see season 5. Vic still alive. This is sleeping with Deep in Homeland or Black Noir has something like. We'll see, but right now I don't think so.
No, we definitely will, because too many times in this show, he was like, "Where's Sage? Where's Sage? Where's Sage?" She probably
being a wasted character.
She better just not be pregnant. That's all I gotta say. Don't be pregnant by Deep.
Oh boy.
Or you know like to make us pregnant.
I guess Soups can't have kids. So.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're where we always wanted to be, the United States of Homelander. We have been waiting for Homelander to get on somebody's platform microphone and make that high mighty speech of a new world order, and this is what it's going to be. And it finally happened. It finally freaking happened. Elliot, I'm gonna come back to you. Were you happy that we finally got here?
Yeah. I mean, this is not to get too political, but this was like one of the most moments in the show where it's like this kind of hits home in regards to. Because the show has been no strain or not been afraid to say that they look at Homelander as Donald Trump, and that moment of like when he became president, and we'll see what happens this November. But that moment of like the fear in the world plays into the scenario. Again, I think it's clumsy the way they handle it overall narratively, but yeah, I mean, this is the United States of Homelander. So and that happened in the comics too. So it's going to be interesting to see how the show handles that. He has an army of Soups now. He has full control now. But what does that look like? What is a world controlled by, or not a world or America, however you want to put it? What does that look like under his guidance or leadership? So
you make me think it looks like Megamind. You remember Megamind when he finally I got everything? Like I'm playing with race cars. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself now that I have everything. What exactly am I supposed to do with all this power? Like what? I don't think he's going to know what to do with himself. Ashley?
Yeah, I think he's not going to know what to do with it, and of course maybe he'll defer to Sage. But this climate, right? Everything that they're doing is going to spark revolution, right? They're not going to be able to put everyone who did all of their dissonance in internment camps. I'm actually super excited to see what an uprising is going to look like, because of course not all soups are going to bend to his will either. So I'm really excited to see that dynamic of like, power to the people against the man. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. We know everything going on right now in the world, and Lord knows what it'll be like when season 5 comes out. But I'm interested to see how this is going to go.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be the end result. Homelander has been wanting this for a while now. He's always been wanting to say we need to have a voice in how the country is being run. And he's been making these little side mistakes and stuff and having them be like, no, we don't need you. He worked his way up to the point to where he always wanted to be. And this is not going to be good for anybody. This is not even going to be good for the soups at this point.
No, Homelander's terrible. Like, how is this? Homelander's terrible. That brings me back to Gen V when he goes to Marie and he's like, tis. Well, we don't hurt you killing other soups. What have you not done to other soups, Homelander? Like, it's just moral complex. It's just all over the place. So this is going to be terrible for everybody. He just likes power in general. He has no allegiance to anybody. Oh God. It's going to be terrible. I can't wait though. I can't wait to see what he does. And if it's just like, I think he's just going to be fiddling his thumbs, not knowing what the hell to do with himself. Like, you asked for this. Starlight's powers returns and we get into this great divide. We leave off with the boys giving hugs and separating. And hey, it was giving New Jack City. I'm on the run, G. I'm on the run. We got to separate. We can't all be together. We can't all be together. And before we could even, get a mile down the road, everybody gets captured. Everybody except for Starlight, whose powers, magically return at the very, very convenient moment. And the most impactful thing for me, first of all, this soup here in the middle, I've been waiting for her to return. I thought she was so dope. I thought she was so dope. So to see her here, it was just like, oh man, like I'm glad she's here. I did not mean to have that bullet on.
Do you know something we don't know, Tyra? Are you in the writer's room?
I did not mean to have that there, but I was really happy to see her return. And she gives a older score on 7, not 7, 11 from Stranger Things. But I think the most impactful thing here was Kimiko yelling no. Of course, we have Sam, and Kate. I can't get into them here being utilized in this way because we really haven't heard them speak or have any type of opinion. We do have, the whisper go down for Frenchie to abide and get in that van, and we have Sam stay in the back with Kimiko, and she finally lets out something, and it's a no. But what does this mean for everybody? And where do we go from here? Elliot, I'm gonna come to you first.
This is again, with all the shortcomings of this season, I will say that unfortunately, this season was sacrificed for setup. And if the setup has a lot of potential to be something really, really good. This was a great ending to me because it does just show you there is no hope right now with the power of Homelander. He literally was able to find them in a heartbeat. So I like that it puts our characters at a position where we don't know where they are. Or, where maybe they're going to be in the same bunker or hidden out in the same area that the kids from Gen V are at. Yes. And again, it makes you wonder. I hope that it isn't a plot armor, but it makes you wonder. They literally could have killed all the boys right then and there. So why are the boys still alive? So hopefully it's not just like, well, obviously they're the main characters. We can't kill them like that. But I'm hoping that there's like something that because Frenchie, I was thinking for 2 seconds that she was going to have him like go in the water and just unalive himself. I thought that Frenchie was going to die right then and there. I'm like, that would have been dark and also good because I was tired of Frenchie. But I didn't do that, so they kept him alive for some reason. So now is Frenchie going to be in the mind control of Kate and being like, you are now our chemist. You can now do whatever we want. If we want to make a virus to kill all the humans, then do that or something like that. But I like the ending. I like that it does show that Sam is a bad mother effort from Gen V, that he can restrain Kimiko, who we've seen has been very powerful herself. So it does open the excitement for Gen V season 2. Starlight getting her powers was cool to see, because we know it was hinted at very littly in the season, but there was like moments when we would be at the boys' hideout or whatever, and she was like trying to like work on her power. So it does have like a little callback to that.
Poor Martin.
Yeah.
Elliot, why did he play with as a black man?
That's the third time that guy has done that, because that's the same guy that was in episode 6 of season 2 who grabbed him by his thing in that episode, and that was the same guy that, you know, his inner stuff came out on his face. So there's a beef.
It's not funny anymore, Elliot. Like even leaving off of the situation with Web Weaver and him having to, like, it's like leave Marvin alone.
It's a running joke at this point, because he always has something being thrown in his face or something of that nature. But yeah, I like this ending a lot, because it sets up this idea that we are going to see the boys at season 5 at a spot where they're not going to be like, all right, gang, how are we going to get? No, they're like going to be in cages. Someone's going to have to break them out, which again, I did not think that Gen V was going to be so exciting. Season 2 of Gen V has so many possibilities, because you would think that they're going to have to be the ones that's going to have to save the boys. Season 5, the Gen V crew, boys crew, moving forward. So this has the potential to be a great setup for season 5.
It does, because who's out there for Starlight to link up with besides Butcher? Nobody else is out there from the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Ashley?
Yeah, I was again super excited to see our crushing girl from the asylum from before. I had missed her. I was like, we're never gonna see her again. So I was super excited to see her. You know, Starlight, I guess, is going to come into her own. That's the only thing I can think of now that she's fully activated. She's had her come to Jesus moment before, right? So hopefully in season 5, we will see a brand new Starlight who's, you know, full of purpose and conviction in getting her people. As far as the Gen V kids, I actually liked them here better than I liked them when they came just for the little speech. I was like, okay, at least they're doing something now, right? As far as Kimiko finding her voice, again, really it's centered around Frenchie. You ain't found your voice any other time, but okay, girl, it's love, it's real, we get it. As far as where they'll be, we know they're going to some of these internment camps or prisons or whatever. I'm curious if they will start their own uprisings, because if the government, whoever has any sense, they would never put them all together. So I'm excited to see what this kind of grassroots movement could look like with all of them, unless they, you know, sentence them to be unalived. I'm curious to see, is Butcher gonna come save the day? Because, you know, I don't know. I'm excited if they come through with season 5. They just cannot give me another season 4. Don't do this ever again. Boys, don't.
Actually, they better do something, because the way they rolled up and everybody's being captured and not killed, enough with that. Something better happen moving forward. That's astounding. Okay.
This ended really well. I like to see that everybody except for Starlight and Butcher were captured, and Starlight and Butcher don't even get along, but they're somehow going to have to work together because they're all they have at this point. Like, the gang is literally split up, and split up in the worst way. They had no backup plan for this. They had no, if this happens, what do we do? They have nothing for this. At this point, they're virtually helpless, and they're going to need Butcher and Starlight to actually, you know, get along for once, to come and help them. I actually hope the kids from Gen V find at least Kimiko and somehow and kind of team up with them. But they can't do this alone. At this point, the boys need more help, and they need better plans. This whole season, none of their plans work. They have failed this whole season.
They need Vicky. They need Vicky and Stan Edgar. Stop playing with us, please. We need Vicky and Stan Edgar to pull up to the function and get this order. Like, man, I just, come on, Giancarlo Esposito, where you at? Stop playing.
I forgot to bring up Ryan's still out there.
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't really interacted with the boys, so I don't know if he'll have that type of care for them. But
Butcher is feeling him right now.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure Butcher has a soft spot for
He
him.
gonna throw somebody goes against the
No, I'm
wall.
talking about like because I remember like Butcher was like, take care of Ryan if something happens to me. Like I don't know if the Ryan has had like much of an interaction with the boys for him to care to save them, but
At all. Nothing. Nothing. Where's Butcher going? And poor Zoe. Zoe ended up where her mother never wanted her to be. She's in the group home. Tragic. But I was like, we're leaving Zoe alive for a reason. This is a, revenge type of, remember what you said about my mama? It's gonna be with something in the sort of that, or just, for Stan and Samir to sort her out. But Ashley, where do you think Butcher is going? It's muted, Ashley.
I did love the imagery though, with the devil in the back seat, driving down the road to nowhere. We'll see how this goes. I just think he's on his full on demon era, and it's gonna be a trail of carnage. I don't know what kind of plan he has or whatever, but we know it just means complete annihilation of all of the soups. And I guess that includes himself, right? So that'll be interesting. As far as Zoe, Stan coming to get that baby. He's coming to get her. She won't be there long, but she's going to be a menace to society. What would really be cool is if she connects with Ryan and they become like, I don't know, Junior Bonnie and Clyde or something, and just go out wreaking havoc. I'd be completely here for that. But yeah, she's going to be a disaster at this point. And an obstacle for the boys when and if they get out of jail.
Okay.
At this point, I don't care where Butcher is going as long as death follows. Okay. He could be going to Starbucks at this point. As long as he knock a few people off on the way, that's all I'm here for. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Wherever he goes, he needs to be leaving, and there needs to be blood everywhere because I'm over it.
Absolutely does. Elliot?
Yeah, I would imagine there's some type of hidden bunker that because they were saying that Homelander wasn't going to be able to find Ryan, so I'm sure that Butcher knows all the like hideout spots that are off radar for even the government itself to even know. It's like the secret CIA only knows where you can be, and Mallory will be the only person that knows that, and she's dead. So it's somewhere that probably is off the map of anyone, including the government themselves. And as far as Zoe, I mean, we would imagine that Stan Edgar is going to want to get his granddaughter out of there by any means necessary. And again, that's like a broken record, but I think that Gen V is going to be a big, whatever happens at the end of Gen V is going to give us a good idea of like how our boys can be saved and how other characters could be saved is based on that. So yeah, right now, like I said, all the heroes from the Gen V cast and now the boys cast are hidden, spread out, and not being able to get out of the situation. So we got A-Train, we got Ryan, we got Ashley, we got Stan. So there's a couple characters that could play into how some of these characters can find their way out. But yeah, I like they leave Butcher on this kind of mission of like he's just gonna continue to go out and let's say we still got a nuclear bomb that's out there. So yeah.
Child, Soldier Boy, tell him. I was so happy.
Yes, me and you both. Yes.
So happy. I was so happy. I knew when we did the little cutaway, I was like, you gotta show me. I already know where we're going. I'm so happy. Ashley, what does this mean for everything?
That's not something I think Homelander really wants to do. And the look on Homelander's face was hard for me to wrap my head around. I said, is this a look of like, this is my papa? Like, this is my dad. You know what I mean? Like, my dad's younger than me. My dad looks better than me. My dad's better than me. Like, what is going on? Because, I mean, he is. Let's be serious. Soldier Boy. Like, I'm super stoked. If Soldier Boy, because Soldier Boy has the same issues that Homelander has as far as wanting to be number one, wanting to be the best. And we know what happened at the end of season 3. So, listen, just wake up. It doesn't matter what he does as long as he's up and I get to see him.
I didn't know what the gleam was for. I'm like, you don't want them problems. Why are you happy? Like, are you happy that like I know where he is and he can't get out? Like, this better not be like, okay, yeah, we're about to wake him up. I think the last thing Homelander would want to do is wake up Soldier Boy, but I hope he gets up. Elliot?
Yeah, this was great. Jensen Ackles was such a great addition. Like he made season 3 the best season to me of this entire series. Just how like much of an impact he had, and all those jokes of like him being like so attracted to older women because he obviously comes from that time. It's just like all those moments worked, and it's just such a great character. Again, another example of a character in the comics that was just kind of interesting, but nowhere as interesting as what they did with the show. So very excited to see what they do with him, and I would imagine a la, because they were very on nose of him being like a Winter Soldier, going on in the ice, being out of control like Bucky was, and going back to the Winter Soldier comparison, they do have a suit that can control people's minds. So all Homelander has to do is call Kate as soon as they wake him up. Hey, Kate, put that spell on him. My dad now is going to be under my control, but it's going to probably take someone to break the trance.
Could she do that though, Elliot?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember from Jen. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the extent of her powers. I don't think it's a permanent thing that she can do, because I remember she did it to someone. And they were able to kind of go back into like, because she had Chance under the spell. Yeah, he was able to kind of remember it. So we'll see. I would imagine that's probably the idea. And to Ashley's point, the face that he made was like, this is the family. I literally have a son. I have a dad. Like, this is the family I've always wanted. So I don't think he's like, I'm going to kill him right away. I think he's going to try, if Kate's not going to be involved. Dad, me and you, I now run the government. Let's work together. The government controlled you. They controlled me. Let's make amends and take over. And we'll see what Soldier Boy's response would be. But
stomping him out.
Hopefully. Because that, again, just from like a action standpoint, the whole show has been, how do we kill Homelander? And the only person that has proven to get an ounce close is his dad. So this is very, very exciting. I'm really,
it's
really
like
excited.
We kill one Homelander to let this cat out of the bag. Like, what he better, if he know what's good for him, he'll leave him right there where he is. Okay.
When I seen that, I didn't think any good was gonna come of it, because we know how powerful Soldier Boy is. But with Homelander now being right there while he's, in this coma, if he pulls him out, Homelander's going to be pulling the strings. So it may not work in our favor for Soldier Boy to be awakened if Homelander is going to be pushing the buttons this time. But at the same time, we know Soldier Boy ain't wrapped too tight. At all. He is a loose cannon. He is like, he got dementia. Sometimes he just black out and we don't know what happened. It could be really dangerous for everybody to even let him loose, because you might have him under control for a little while, but again, it's like he has dementia and he flips out and he don't even know what goes on. He flips out and everybody's dead around him, and then he's just looking around like, oh well.
I just want to know, I hope we ain't relying on Kate to, him and Kate had a little fantasy thing going. So with Kate, being his her whole little wet dream situation, her fantasy. So it would be interesting to see, like, oh, you want me to push him? Like, all right, I'll push him a little bit. But leaving off with this season, which was just really interesting. I wanted this to be good so bad, but I'm glad that they ended it off in a proper way. But we are left with a few questions. Is Stan Edgar with Samir? Where's Ryan? Will the boys get locked up with the Godolphin 5? Will A-Train, Queen Maeve, we still don't know, where's Queen Maeve, and Ashley team up with the boys? There's a whole lot of possibilities. Ashley, I'm going to come to you first. Any questions that you have leaving off of this season that you want answered next season?
Yeah, again, I just want to see this full Ashley emergence. I want to see what kind of alien creature she is now. I think they would be silly to put the boys in with the Godolphin 5. I would love it, right? Like, but it would be so dumb. It would be really, really just.
Well, look who we talking about.
A dumb move. I want to know though how soon it's going to be before Homelander gets rid of this president. This president is looking like he's going to do all the things Homelander does, but we know one wrong move and that'll be over. I'm really excited to see the Deep be unalived in season 5. I want them to do that expeditiously, like episode 1, episode 2, and then A-Train's return, his triumphant return. I'm excited to see what this new boys team is going to look like. And I think it's going to be Starlight rounding these people up. So, yeah, that's about it.
They have to be. Any one day, they have to be. Okay?
Yeah, you know, I don't really want A-Train to come back because he got a clean getaway when he should have been unalived a few times. Like, we were scared for him this whole season. He need to stay where he's at because if he comes back, he been selfish this whole time. Why is he gonna come back and help now? If he comes back, it's not gonna be any good for him because Homelander's already have a target on his back no matter what.
You'll probably die and be sacrificial, but we need help. It's dire times.
I mean, they should have planned a whole lot better than this. Where are the the little mob people that was following around Kamiko? Are they gone?
I think they over there with Colin. They just gone. They're just gone.
They just kind of like, y'all not gonna come back and get it in blood. So we're done with that. Y'all don't care about her anymore. Is that done?
I think that was just an arc for Kamiko's resentment, and I doubt we're gonna revisit that again. Honestly,
I'm gonna need them not to waste my time in season 5 because we didn't need Colin's backstory or Kamiko's if it wasn't gonna be something that was actually gonna be useful in the end. If they was just gonna be there for those little plot points and then disappear, we could do something else with that.
Elliot?
Yeah, a lot of great questions on the screen here. The Edgar and Stan, or Edgar and Samir and Zoe seems to be a pretty good thing to see to team up. The Ryan of it all is still very. I have no clue where he could be. The Godokin and the boys, that seems to be like a pretty good sure bet that we'll see them teaming up with the boys at the end of their season. And I can see A-Train being the hero that we never thought. Maybe he's the one that breaks them all out, or at least gets one of them out, and it's a domino effect, but it's a sacrifice. The Queen Maeve of it all, I haven't done enough research, or the PR team has really buried the story, but apparently there is a unfortunate situation that might have been brewing behind the scenes with Anthony Starr. Apparently was abusive to the actress that played Queen Maeve behind the scenes, which explains why she wasn't in further seasons. They had to write her out because she did not feel comfortable working with him, which again, if that is, I would think that would be a much bigger story. So I don't know if that is to be true, or again, the PR is just like, this is Amazon. They can bury any story they want, and they don't want their lead star to be in some, Me Too situation if it was the case. So if Queen Maeve is to come back, and if that rumor is to be true, then there might be a recasting potentially of Queen Maeve. And by all rights, I wouldn't want an actress to come back just because fans want her back. If she feels uncomfortable with the star of the show, then by all means. But yeah, we'll see. But I would think if that rumor isn't true, that I would think Queen Maeve would have a big return because her character, kind of like A-Train, was off the radar and want to move away. But once they see what the world is like, you would imagine that Queen Maeve would not want to be a part of that world and would want to officially take down Homelander. So a lot of threads, a lot of unanswered questions that I'm really excited to see. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but I'm excited for The Boys season 5. But I'm honestly, the way I feel right now, I'm more excited for Gen V season 2 than I am The Boys season 5, because I think there's so much with Gen V that they opened up the doors to, and those younger generational kids, they're great. I really do like the Gen V cast. Not saying that I like them more than the boys, but I like what they introduced to that show. So yeah, I think Gen V season 2 is going to be awesome. And I hope it doesn't ruin what Gen V is. If they have to do all the stuff to correct the boys or save the boys, I hope Gen V season 2 is its own thing. But like a cinematic universe, I hope that it ties up really well and sets the stage for hopefully a good conclusion for the boys. Because yes, this season was disappointing. I think we can all agree to that. But it could be a situation where, as this was a setup season, that season 6 or season 5 makes season 4 look better because they set up everything to have playoffs in the last season. So
it's only up from here. We can't go nowhere but up from here.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to go. But y'all, that is the season finale of The Boys season 4. I am going to show y'all some love for being here, kicking it with us. Then we're going to do a little soft, everybody telling you where they at and where they can go. And everybody's going to do it at the same time on the screen because my battery and my mouse is dying. But we will definitely be right back. And, you guys keep showing love.
Turn
street. We keep it street. I took a loss, but you still gon' get beat. You still gon' how much it costs? It never been cheap. It never been. Turn your click up, dog. Turn them up, turn your up, dog. Turn around, tiny streets can't cross it. Cross them up, all these street need bosses. Boss them up, turn your click up, dog. Turn them up, turn your up, dog. Turn around, tiny streets can't cross it. Cross them up, all these street need bosses. When my dog get low in his pockets, I'm picking them up. We came from the bottom together. We get it, we splitting it up. If my tell me pay for the I'll take a shopping and tell her shut up. Standing on business, standing on business, ain't nothing to pipe it up. It ain't nothing to turn up. It ain't nothing to turn your click up. Ain't nothing. We turn the jeweler up. Just look at the diamonds we bust. Look at the people we touch. I'm feeling like Puffy and Russ.
Yeah, I'm so happy Soulja Boy's back. It's about to get interesting. Yeah. Ashley, with the sweet perspective, I'm going to come to you first to let the people know what you got going on and where the people need to come to find you. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Y'all know y'all can come over to My Sweet Perspective and subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things, y'all, because we have a ton of fun, exciting content coming. Tonight, I'll be dropping Unprisoned Season 2, my review. Tomorrow, I'll be dropping my review of episodes 1 and 2 of Lady in the Lake on Apple TV. If y'all aren't watching it, I need y'all to go watch it like yesterday. Okay. But yeah, just keep the notification bell on so you know when we're going live. There is a ton of content coming up the rest of July coming into August. And thank y'all for being here. What a fun night. Thank you, chat. You're always live. And we thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. And Ashley, I just want to say that the close-up on your dreads are dreading and they look good. Elliot, I am going to come to you next to let the people know what you have coming up on your channel and where they need to come over and find you. Once again, you guys, if you are new here, everybody's link to their channel is down there in the description box. Is one click away to go and support these beautiful people. Go ahead, Elliot.
Well, yeah, first and foremost, Tyra, thank you for having me on. I know we've collabed on my channel before, but I was so happy to get that DM and like, hey, you want to talk about The Boys? I was like, yeah, but I'm more excited to be on Tyra's channel because she's so dope. So thank you for having me these last few weeks. And you know, I've had the fortune enough to collab with Kay in the past, and it's so great to be able to see Ashley every week as well these last few weeks. So I appreciate y'all having me on. So as far as on my channel, a lot to look forward to. You know, Monday I'm going to be lucky enough to see the big Marvel film of Deadpool and Wolverine. So keep an eye out for out of theater reactions, you know, reviews and all that stuff, because apparently we're going to see everybody in Marvel maybe make a cameo. So there's going to be a lot of content surrounding that film next week. In the meantime, I know Ashley brought up Apple TV Plus, which is so underrated. It's probably the best streaming platform in my opinion. I got to check out the Lady in the Water show, or Lady in the Lake, which you mentioned. But there is a show right now that's almost done. Next week will be done. It's Presumed Innocence. That show has been fire. Season 2 was greenlit. Very excited to see how things wrap up and how they open up a new case for the new season. And then, you know, House of Dragon, we're doing lives and watch parties and after shows for that show. We got 3 more weeks of that to look forward to. And yeah, I got to find something to replace that hole of The Boys, because that was something I was covering every week. So I'm looking for suggestions out there for anyone out there. Let me know what to look forward to for August. I guess the Umbrella Academy might be able to fill that void, even though the last season that wasn't that great. So anyway, take a look at my channel, check me out. And again, Tyra, Kay, and Ashley, and I know Dom is in here, but it was great to chop it up with you all for the last few weeks. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, Elliot. We appreciate you for being here, and I loved having you. Once again, y'all getting into that lady. I love you say Lady in the Water, because I keep saying the same thing. Yeah, Lady in the Lake. Y'all be sure to go and check that out. We're going to be recapping that also. But yes, Kay with them books, because you read them. Y'all Kay been over there putting out content. Tell the people where they need to come to find you and what you have going on.
Okay. Hey, Blurs, come on over, hit that subscribe button, especially my horror people and my sci-fi superhero people. Come on over. We are talking, of course, The Boys live. Was it Mondays for House of the Dragon? We'll be watching Lady in the Lake. I love Apple TV. It is underrated. Elliot has convinced me to watch Oddity. I hope it's on Shudder. If so, I will be watching that tonight, because I love me a good spooky movie, and I really want to see it. I got reviews for Quiet Place Day 1. A lot of horror throwback movies, underrated horror movies. If you need something to watch, come on over. You might find something.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of these things we are collaborating on together. So if you're supporting one, you are supporting us all. Let's see.
Go
The
team.
lives for Lady in the Lake will be, I say lake, yeah, Lady in the Lake will be coming up. We will also be venturing back into discussing Interview with the Vampire season 1, episode 1 this Tuesday. Hopefully, like we ain't gonna do this. Hopefully they get done. And this Sunday, I will be doing live for Divorce in the Black because why not? Well, that needs a whole conversation. If you want to cackle like you have never cackled before with a panel of beautiful women, make sure you are there for that Sunday. And as well as Saturday, Kay, myself, and King Nikki TV, Saturdays are Saturdays for our horror panels. We will be discussing everything from Demon Night, Final Black Girls. It's the whole lot, Kate. It's the whole lot we're going to be talking about as far as just the horror community. So be there for that tomorrow, and be on the lookout for reviews. We just had the purchase of Training Day. We just got a purchase for Welcome to the Dollhouse, and of course, we still have Ray, Book of Eli, and Strictly Business. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. But thank you guys so much for supporting us. And we hope to see you guys numerous times this week. And we hope you guys have a good night. Good night, everybody.